heard or received?
Believe in yourself.
Second question, what is the worst advice you've ever heard or received?
It can't be done.
The consistency of work. Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better, right? And you do that over a period of time, not like 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then you can get to where you want to go.
I don't stay with your rules. Dream. I was poor because I didn't have anything. I had no money, I had no things, we had no TV, we had no refrigerator, we had nothing as kids. But I was rich because I had a dream. I had a dream of becoming the greatest bodybuilder, and I had a dream to use bodybuilding as a means to get into films. But I had no idea that it would go as far as it did, that it would go beyond the body roles, beyond the muscles, and then do movies like Terminator, Predator, End of Days and stuff like that. That was like, I had to kind of reinvent my dream after I achieved that.
My philosophy is, why be normal when you can be the best? I don't want to be normal. I want to make the difference. So everything I do, I want to make the difference. Because when I make the difference, I'm the best. And that is not arrogance, that is confidence.
I hate Plan B. And I tell you why. Because we have so many doubters, as I've said earlier, the no-sayers. We have so many of those people that say no and you can't do it, that's impossible. But when you start doubting yourself, that's very dangerous. Because now what you're basically saying is that if my plan doesn't work, I have a fallback plan, I have a plan B. And that means that you start thinking about plan B, and every thought that you put into plan B, you're taking away now that thought and that energy from plan A. What is if I fail, then I don't have anything else? You have to fail in order to climb that ladder. There's no one that doesn't fail.
When I say I am God, you think I'm joking or not?
You tell me.
I'm not joking. When I come on the field, I feel like that.
You feel like God.
I feel like God when I'm on the field.
And omnipotent.
I feel untouchable, and I feel I will smash everyone that comes in my way. That is the mental part. Let's say boxing. Tyson Fury is the champion. If you ask me if I could smash, I would say yes. I would smash.
Tyson Fury.
In my head, yes. But when I come in the ring, he would knock me out after 2 seconds. But the mentality is, I can.
Yeah.
But in the ring, he would eat me alive, without doubts. But my mentality is, I can. I have a vision, and I will arrive there. And I'm 100% I will, because I'm a winner.
How willing are you, and how worth it is it to you? Everybody talks about the will to win, and I can't stand the phrase. Everybody wants to win. That should never be your question. The question is, what are you willing to do? How hard are you willing to embrace the grind? How hard are you willing to embrace the suck? That's the question. Not do you want to win? Everybody's going to say yes. But what's going to motivate you to get it done? And all of us have different whys that are going to motivate us. But the question is yours big enough to be willing to say, when it gets hard, when I have to endure, I'm going to be willing. See, I think you have to have a vision. I think you have to be willing. Then I think you have to have non-negotiables. You have to have guardrails.
Or to me, it's all about hard work. And because there's no shortcut. The human mind can only really grow through resistance. You can only strengthen your character and become a really strong person inside if you have resistance. If you fail, if you get up again, the more you struggle, the further you're going to go and the stronger you're going to get.
I truly believe we are all equal as human beings. If we are obsessed with something and we truly pursue our passion with everything we have, regardless of anything else, if you are obsessed, work hard and put in the time, you will succeed. And that is a philosophy that I carry, my coaches carry, and this is hard work. This is an obsession. Nothing can beat hard work.
There's something to choosing gratefulness.
It's so true.
Not just feeling grateful, choosing it. Because sometimes we don't feel like it. But I'm so grateful we don't have to live always by our feelings, because feelings are really fickle. And they come and go. Man, do you know how many days, when the alarm goes off at 5, you're like, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to go do this. But we don't have to live by our emotions. We get to choose our convictions of what we believe, of what we want to live for.
The reasons why I was so successful is because I had the right people around me. I had great friends, great family. You know, hard work is something that I've always been about, and never giving up.
Staying on the topic of art, I wanted to read you a quote from 2013 that you said. I've lost my mind on this game, like Vincent van Gogh, dedicated his life to his art, and he lost his mind in the process. That's happened to me, but fuck it. When that gold belt is around my waist and my mother has a big mansion, my girlfriend has a car for every day of the week, and my kids' get everything they ever wanted, then it will pay. Then I'll be happy I lost my mind. Can you just reflect and talk to me about how that makes you feel hearing that in 2021?
You know, it's been some ride. I've got it done, and I'm up here mad as a brush. You know what I mean? I've been through it all, my friend. You know, I appreciate that, and it's been a wild ride for me. It's not been easy at times, but you know, what a life. And I tell you what, I wouldn't want it to be any other way.
If you wanna give up, you can give up. This is your choice. You can do whatever you want. Your time's gonna come, but you cannot give up.
For many times I was laughed at and not believed in, but you know what? Nothing external can defeat the internal. The only thing that can take someone down or break you down is internal. Nothing external is strong enough. It's just about making sure your internal dialogue and your internal belief in yourself is strong enough that it can withstand the external. The external is there. Yes. You've got to accept it. You've got to embrace it. You've got to understand it and be aware of it. But don't let it seep into your internal dialogue.
Don't complain. Don't talk negative. That's average people talk normal. Average people talk problems. The greats talk solutions. Average people use their time to whine and complain. Average people say it's their boss' fault. It's their mother's fault. I used to be average. I used to say, when is my daddy coming to get me? When is my biological father gonna come in my life? And while I would talk like that, I end up getting kicked out of school. And while I talk like that, I end up being homeless. And while I talk like that, I was broke. And then one day I woke up and said, Eric, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to get you. But you can go to the library and get yourself.
It was isolation, it was visualization, it was motivation, and it was dedication. There was nothing else going on in my life, you know what I mean? To get to the level, to get to the pinnacle, it needs to be like that. It needs to be no outsiders. It needs to be, you need to have your team and your focus, and that's it. I don't need friends that aren't involved in this game.
Everyone has a problem with time. But the day is 24 hours, and we sleep 6. Now, I know there's some out there that say, whoa, I need 8. Well, I say just sleep a little faster. Because the bottom line is we have 6 hours of sleep, 24 hours are available, so you have 18 hours now available to your work, your family, your hobbies, and also to learn something new.
Everyone's unique. You know what I mean? You take, like Bruce Lee said, you take from everyone. And you use what is useful and you discard what is not, and you add what is uniquely your own. That's a famous Bruce Lee quote, and I suppose that's what I'm doing, without even realizing it, unconsciously.
Our PR guy steps in front of me, he says, Timmy, did you realize what happened? And I was like, yeah, we just beat the Steelers, we're going to play the Patriots, like, let me do this. He was like, Timmy, did you realize what happened? I could tell he was being serious, so I was like, Patrick, what's up, man? He looks at me and says, Timmy, this is exactly 3 years from the time you put John 3:16 into your eyes. I was like, oh, really? That's awesome. That's really cool. He says, no, you don't realize. During the game, you threw for 316 yards. Your yards per rush were 3.16. Your yards per completion were 31.6. The time of possession was 31.06. And the ratings for the night were 31.6. And during the game, 90 million people Googled John 3:16, and it's the #1 thing on all social media right now.
I will never stay in there longer than I should. I'm a smart man. I'm smarter than I look. I will not stay in the fight. It's a dangerous business. Get in, get rich, get out.
If my team isn't doing what I want them to do, my instinct isn't to blame the team. My instinct is to look at myself and say, wait a second, how am I not leading them correctly where they will do what they need to do? What mistakes am I making that I can adjust and change so that I improve my ability to bring people into the organization?
When it comes to discipline, it's like you have to sacrifice loved ones for a long period of time if you want to be great, because they don't understand. And that's okay. They don't understand what it means to, like, I am getting up every single day at 5 or 6 a.m. And when I get home, I want to take a nap. So now you're sacrificing your loved ones because you're not spending time with them. And when I wake up, I'm probably going to train again. And then I'm going to have dinner. And then I'm going to bed. And I'm going to do that every single day for a long period of time.
I've lost in kickboxing, I've lost in boxing, I've lost in life, I've lost in love, I've lost in family. Like, life is, you don't just win all the time, it's wins and losses. So you roll with the punches. But it is what it is.
You know how many times in my entire military career I said, hey, I'm the boss, you better do what I tell you to do? You wanna know how many times I said that? 0 times. No one thinks like that. So in a leadership position, what you have to do is say, hey, I'm gonna find out what's going on. I'm gonna talk to people, and we're gonna put together a plan to figure out how we're gonna get this solved.
The easiest thing in life is to give up on whatever you're focused on or whatever you're hopeful for. The hardest thing is to keep going, but we have to continue to hold on. And I would imagine for so many people out there, that is probably the most difficult thing.
I don't care who you are, how much money you have, what you have going on. When you get out of bed every day, life is standing right there to punch you in the mouth. And, you have to overcome all these different struggles in life every day. Right. I actually love when adversity is thrown at me and I have to deal with this stuff.
Do you actually want to do this or not? Your excuses will take everything that you ever wanted from you. Go try and accomplish something that's hard. You may win, you may lose. I'll tell you what, you'll be better, and then you're gonna win.
If you're a fucking savage and you get out there and you grind hard and you want it bad enough, you can run all these guys over, man. And this whole COVID thing, people don't want to go back to work and, they want to stay home and all this bullshit, man. This next generation is just such a fucking group of pussies, man. For the small group of savages out there, run these fucking kids right over. Run them all over.
The best way to contend with problems, with issues, with adversity is action, is by taking action. The more you sit and the more you wait and the more time you spend with that adversity, with the upper hand inside your head, the worse it's gonna get.
I was doing same thing all my life. You have to train every day, you have to do same thing. Sparring, grappling, wrestling, running, every single day.
My view is you can't control the outcome all the time. Sometimes it should go the other people's way. It shouldn't always go your way. So you get motivated by the losses, you stay motivated through the winning. What you can control is your process. You can control those intangibles. You can control the work ethic, the consistent discipline, your attitude, your culture, how much you care. All those things are in you. They just need to be drawn out of you.
But when you have success, it's so short-lived. It's it really is really short-lived. You win a race, then you go back home and you have as a racing driver, the weekend is so intense, you've seen it. There's so much energy, so much, it's really, really a stressful environment for everyone that's working within it. Then you go home and there's a huge come down 1 or 2 days later, and you're trying to balance those emotions, that emotional roller coaster.
You step up and let one thing define you. That's your effort. That's how much you care. But let me tell you one thing that they better not be better at you then. And that's called heart. It's called courage, it's called how much you care. Everybody wants to talk about discipline and hard work and all these things. I don't believe in them. Because when you care about something, that's what makes you get up and work. That's what makes you have discipline. So in this game, don't flinch.
I'm here to talk about success. The first rule of success is to have a vision. You see, if you don't have a vision of where you go, and if you don't have a goal where you go, you drift around and you never end up anywhere. So I was very fortunate that I stumbled onto my vision. You know how great it felt that I knew where I was going? Imagine the majority of people don't know where they're going. I knew where I was going. And I told people all the time, I said, because to me, I'm shooting for a goal. Something visualizing a goal and going after it makes it fun. You've got to have a purpose no matter what you do in life. You've got to have a purpose.
Failure is 100% necessary for greatness. To achieve greatness, to have that success, you've got to fail as many times as possible. So don't shy away from it. Don't take it as a negative. Every single successful person who's achieved great things, whether it's climbing Mount Everest, whether it's getting to the top of a company, whether it's being the best athlete possible, they've all failed more times than they'll be able to remember. That's how they've become great. No one's been great from the get-go and then just being great. That's except for Superman, because he was just born great. Just know that is a part of the journey. Whatever failures you have are only going to make you stronger.
Progress is not made sitting on the couch. Progress is not made sitting back on base. Progress is made getting outside the wire. Going outside the wire. That's where progress is made. Because not everything's going to be perfectly lined up for you. You're not going to get the resources you want. You're not going to get that call that you expect. You're not going to get the support that you need. And you can let all of that hold you back, or you can go. I recommend you go. Go criteria. The criteria is we're going. That's what we're doing.
You have to have no fear. You have to have no fear. You have to believe in who you are and what you do, and just go fucking get it.
We have 24 hours a day. We sleep 6 hours a day, so that gives you still 18 hours. But there's someone shaking their head out here in front. They say probably, I don't sleep 6 hours, I sleep 8 hours, right? Or just sleep faster.
You want to think that your life is so much harder than somebody else's. It's not. You're lazy. You don't put the effort in. You don't want to work at it. We don't want to do the pull-ups. What have you done today besides make excuses? Stay hard.
Some talk bad about you, some talk good. But when they talk bad, you're doing a good job, my friend. Trust me. I went through all of this.
Don't be afraid to fail. Anything I've ever attempted, I was always willing to fail. In the movie business, I remember that you pick scripts. Many times you think this is a winning script, but then of course you find out later when you do the movie that it didn't work and the movie goes in the toilet. Now we have seen my movies, Red Sonja, Hercules in New York, Last Action Heroes, those movies went in the toilet. But that's okay, because at the same time I made movies like Terminator and Conan and True Lies and Predator and Twins that went through the roof. So you can't always win, but don't be afraid of making decisions. You can't be paralyzed by fear or failure, or you will never push yourself. You keep pushing because you believe in yourself and in your vision. And you know that it is the right thing to do, and success will come. So don't be afraid to fail.
What have the last 2 years taught you, changed you to get from there to here?
Man, just always trusting yourself. That's what I learned. And, you know, once things go bad, there's only so many people that's going to be on your side. And, man, that's it. Just really trusting yourself. And just keep working out, have faith, and, good things happen to good people.
The most important thing is that you have a vision, that you have a goal. Because without that vision and without that goal, again, you're drifting around and you're never going to end up anywhere. People don't become successful just by accident. Maybe the guy that found gold in California and started the gold rush, but don't count on that. That's the one in a lifetime kind of a situation. So you got to really have a specific goal. And to me, to have that vision that I want to be Mr. Universe, that I want to be the greatest bodybuilder of all time, that was a great vision, and that specifically to look like Reg Park and to be up there on that stage and to lift the trophy overhead and to win the championship over and over and over again. So that was a great goal. You have to have a goal. Now, it doesn't have to be that specific goal, but it has to have some goal. This is why I always recommend to people, sit down, take your time, and start thinking about, why do you want to work out? What is your goal? And then it can be as crazy as it is. It could be, I want to impress girls. If that's your goal, so be it, but it motivates you. It could be that you're emulating a certain, bodybuilder or a certain football player, a certain boxer, whatever it is. Have those pictures put all over the wall like I did when I was a kid. I put pictures of Reg Park and of Sonny Liston, of boxers and of Ali and of powerlifters and weightlifters all over my bedroom, wall. So that every day when I go to sleep, every day when I wake up, I look at those pictures and they motivate me. You need that motivation, and then therefore you have this kind of imprint in front of you all the time, and you know exactly what you're chasing. And this is why I always smiled when I was in the gym. People always came up to me and says, why are you smiling? You're working out 5 hours a day. You're doing the same as the other guys, but the other guys have a sour face. They're pissed off that they have to do another rep or another set or something. I looked forward to another 1,000 reps of sit-ups. I looked forward to another 500 pounds of leg press or squat. I looked forward to doing more and more curls until my arms fall off. Why? Because I knew that every rep that I did and every set that I did and more weights that I lifted, I get one step closer to turning that vision into reality.
Look back 6 years ago, money was growing on trees. Anybody could get a loan. You could pick up the phone and anybody could get a loan for anything. Business, house, cars, it was easy to raise money. So, we go out there, we make this thing work. The first season of The Ultimate Fighter happens, this thing skyrockets, starts to take off. So of course, the fight business is a fun business to be in. So everybody starts diving into this thing. Well, it's easy, right? Just throw 3 letters together and buy a cage and put on fights. Anybody could do that. So these guys go out, and the biggest mistake that everybody makes when they try to compete with us is they try to compete with us. First of all, we didn't come out yesterday and put together an organization and now we're on Fox and now we're on pay-per-view. Anything you do, nothing happens overnight, man. It seems that way, but it's all hard work. I have been on planes, trains, and automobiles for the last 13 years, out selling the sport, getting deals done, getting doors slammed on my face. You name it, it's all happened. And these guys come out and they just start throwing money around and start trying to be the UFC. Don't try to be the UFC. The first thing you have to do when you start a business is know exactly who you are and what is your game plan. What are we going to do? First year is where you're looking. What are we going to do first year? You make it through that first year and you're still alive? All right, what's our 3-year plan? You get into your 3-year plan. And that's how you start to build your company. The last thing this is how stupid it is, okay? Be like, we're all sitting around. This is my living room. We're all here. We're hanging out in my living room. And we're watching NASCAR, okay? Holy shit. Look at all the people at NASCAR. These guys must be making tons of money. You know what we should do? We should go get a couple of their drivers and let's start our own race league. And we'll compete with NASCAR. Anybody want to jump in with me? Hell no, you don't. Sounds like the stupidest idea ever. But people think they can do it with the UFC. UFC's been around for 20 years. 20 years. In this November, it'll be 13 years for us. And you think you're going to just dive right in and start throwing money around? You will go out of business so fast.
Yeah, I've always been driven, even at a young age. All I ever wanted to do was become a footballer, a soccer star. And that was my only ambition, I know it's different these days with kids, there's fame, there's fortune, and it might be easy for me to say that because obviously I've done very well out of the game, but I'd still be playing this game even if I wasn't being paid for it. Not that I don't want to be paid for it, but I still would be playing this sport.
Everyone has a problem with time, but the day has 24 hours, and we sleep 6. Now I know there's some out there that say, whoa, I need 8. Well, I say just sleep a little faster, because the bottom line is we have 6 hours of sleep, 24 hours are available, so you have 18 hours now available to your work, your family, your hobbies, and also to learn something new or to do something new, which could easily be that you want to learn a new language, or that you want to read as a New Year's resolution, I have to read a book every week, or you say, I'm going to go and reshape my body. So you're going to go and take this hour out of your schedule and say, I'm going to train an hour every day. So this is for most people a huge challenge, but it is totally doable, I can tell them, because the kind of things that I did when I came to this country, I mean, I went to school, I was working in construction, I was working out my 5 hours a day. I was taking acting classes from 8 o'clock at night to 12 midnight. I was doing all of those things. I wanted to make sure that out of the 24 hours of the day, that I don't waste one single hour. Those hours were too precious. And so there I just want to tell people, don't give me this thing, I have a difficult time with the time and I don't have time for this and I don't have time. You have time. You make the time.
It's been a fight.
Yes.
And that's the way you've actually liked it.
Yes.
You were brought up in an environment like that.
Where I came from, it was about survival mode. And to survive, you needed to be tough. You needed to show you're tough. And that's where I came from. But I brought it in my game also. I'm not afraid to say what I think. I'm not afraid to do what I believe in. Then afterwards they give you or nothing. I mean, it's me. I cannot change me. I'm not here to be beautiful or to be perfect to somebody. I think being yourself is perfect. You will do mistakes, you will learn from your mistakes. And you will still do mistakes. And me getting angry and that's me. I need to get fired up. So that's how I bring out sharpness. That's how I bring out the best out of me when I walk on fire. Because if you make me feel too comfortable, I'm playing to win. And to win, I will destroy you. I will do everything to win. And I need to win. Because when I win is my proof that I am alive.
In one word only, how did a small town boy from Austria become one of the most famous people on earth?
Why do you want me to say it in one word?
One word, Arnold.
I don't stay with your rules. Dream. I was poor because I didn't have anything. I had no money, I had no things, we had no TV, we had no refrigerator, we had nothing as kids. But I was rich because I had a dream.
You had a dream?
I had a dream of becoming the greatest bodybuilder, and I had a dream to use bodybuilding as a means to get into films. But I had no idea that it would go as far as it did. That it would go beyond the body roles, beyond the muscles, and then do movies like Terminator, Predator, End of Days and stuff like that. That was like, I had to kind of reinvent my dream after I achieved that.
Okay, but this dream, of bodybuilding, we'll come to that, but there must have been a time in your life before that when you didn't have any thoughts of bodybuilding at all. What sort of child were you?
Well, I grew up in Austria. I was born after the Second World War in 1947. It was poverty, there was no food around, really nothing, and I think that was the reason why I developed such a tremendous desire to get out of there, and a desire to make it in life, to achieve big things. And then when I learned in school later on about America and about the skyscrapers, the big freeways, the big cars and all that, I said to myself, I want to be part of this big thing.
People have asked me that over the years, how do I curl the ball, how do I bend the ball, and it's something that just happened. It's not something that I thought, okay, I want to bend the ball better than anyone else, so I'm going to kick the ball in this certain way. I just worked on my striking of the ball. I just practiced every day. It's something that I've done from a very young age. Even after every training session, I'd take balls on my own and just curl and kick and try and find new ways of getting the ball in the net without anyone touching it. And I've been lucky enough to have done that over the years with the way I kick the ball. And I know that it's a unique style, and I know it's a unique style just because my back hurts a little bit more than it did when I was 15 years old. But no, it's something that I practice, of course. It's one thing I tell kids, and unless you practice, you're never gonna get better at something.
Small details in the end of the day will make the big difference, in my opinion. So, as you say, and I will keep repeat, the consistency is the most difficult thing.
Just doing it every day.
Yes, every day.
Do you ever wake up and you say, I don't want to do it today?
I fight against my mind. Yes, sometimes it's happened. We are all human beings. We are not happy every day. We are, not in a good mood every day. It's normal. It's part of us.
What do you do to overcome that?
I fight against that. You know, it's the big challenge. It's when you're not willing to do something, but you have to do it. This is the main point. This is why I say our mind, it's a box of surprises, and you have to challenge yourself to be consistent. I repeat, sometimes it's hard. It's what many people say, you like to go to the gym every day. Of course, no. It's not true. Nobody likes to go to the gym every day. But you have to do it. Probably yes, because your mental strength is coming from that moments that in a hard moments, you know you should do it. So, and I do it because after that, maybe in the beginning you feel hard to start, but after when you finish the gym or cold plunge or even the training, you will feel better.
What would you say to a young person today who felt that they were predetermined to be a certain way?
You've already quit. If you've accepted that where you are is where you're going to be, you've already lost. And there's no power in that. There's no power in that. That's like staying right here. You're not popping the clutch. You're not going forward. You've made a choice to just stay here. And that's your responsibility. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying there are not challenges, problems, obstacles, issues, fears. But when you quit right here, you're right. This is where you're going to be.
You never quit.
Quitting is not enough.
Hey. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right?
All right.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
How do you love yourself, Luis? Because I talk about it all the time. So I made a list of how to love yourself. And it's even in poster and postcard form now. But number one on that list of how to love yourself is to stop all criticism. Just stop it, now and forevermore. And make a vow to yourself that you're going to do your very best from now on to stop criticizing, number one, you, and then other people. It'll be a lot easier to stop criticizing other people when you stop criticizing yourself.
Focus on you until the focus is on you, bro. I know that, we want the focus to be on us today, but if we put the focus on ourselves, like me, putting the focus on me, giving myself everything I need to be successful, giving myself everything I need to be competitive, giving myself everything I need to be the catch, to be the prize, that's what I'm gonna do. When you focus on doing that, fellas, and you don't pay no mind to nothing else outside of your control, you don't pay attention to them paying attention to you. When you stop doing that, I promise you, that's when the focus and the attention is gonna be paid on you, bro. I promise you.
Been anything along your journey that you've kind of regretted? And then how do you deal with regret?
I mean, individual choices and mistakes, yeah, but ultimately you learn from those. So no. Because even the regrets, the bad things or the stupid things, you learn not to do bad things or stupid things. All those things are beneficial in some way if you can get through them. If you did something that resulted in someone's death or something horrible like that, yeah, it'd be a terrible regret. But I've been very fortunate that hasn't happened. But the dumb shit that I've done or the bad mistakes that I've made, they've taught me. You learn. That's why failure is so important. Failing and fucking up and making mistakes, it's very important. That's how you learn. That's how the bad feeling that you get from something that you shouldn't have done or wish you didn't do or wish you did better. Especially failing at something where you half-assed it and you just feel like a fucking loser. That just teaches you. It teaches you to get your shit together.
Well, you have such a good ability to learn from those things. Some people, I think, kind of it's just like it gets repetitive for some people.
That's dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous to dwell on past mistakes because people sort of define themselves by the worst moments that they've ever had. And if that's the case, like some people are stuck in high school. You know, they're stuck in failures that they had like when they were first getting jobs, and they always think that they're a loser, and they don't like the feeling of failure, so they keep low expectations so that they never have to feel that. You gotta get through it. You gotta get through bad feelings. You gotta get through failure. It's very important. And you get through it by just picking yourself back up and moving forward and going. But it's hard for a lot of people because that sting, they never get over it, the feeling of failure. And they don't have a good support system, like good friends. Like having a good community of friends is very, very important, because you could feel like down, like if a girl broke up with you and you feel like you're the worst, you're a fucking loser, like you're a piece of shit. But then you go out with your friends and you have a few laughs, and next thing you know, you're laughing and you're like, I'm all right. We'll be all right.
And look at you today, man. Yeah. And I just think that's really critical, right? And it's like, because everybody has dreams, and as much as you want to be able to listen a little bit, because somebody's going to give you a gem, but nobody knows but you. You can't get advice on what you should do with your life, right? Nobody knows what you are. Like even sometimes you don't really even know what you are. You got to take your shot. And it's like, as much as you want people to agree and you want the people around you to be supporting your dreams and all, it's not going to be like that all the time. You got to do it alone. And people will help you, and when you get the ball rolling, people will jump on. But if you don't believe, nobody else is going to believe. People come along because your belief is so insane.
Thoughts are like drops of water. You drop a drop of water on the table here, and it doesn't mean much. But if you keep dropping and keep dropping and keep dropping, you get the table becomes a wash, and then you get a puddle on the floor. And then you can get a little pond and a lake, and finally you can create an ocean. And with our own thoughts, we can drown in a sea of negativity, or we can float on the ocean of life. And it's up to us. The thoughts we think accumulate. And what sort of puddles are you standing in? Or are you up to here? Or are you up to here and trying to paddle? You know, what are you doing to yourself? When we're willing to change our thinking, we can change our experiences. And it doesn't matter if you've got a big puddle of negative thoughts. You know, you can move over here and create a puddle of mindfulness, positive thoughts. You can make changes, always. So you want to turn those fear thoughts into positive affirmations. Let them work for you.
Do you believe that every person has the ability to choose the right path, the spiritually enlightened path?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not easy. It can be tremendously difficult. It's easier to quit. It's easier to succumb. It's easier to give in, but to go forward, that's tremendously difficult. You have to be bold to do that, to say, no, this is not where I'm going to be. I often think of another person. This woman and I are the same exact age, same zodiac sign, went to the same elementary school, and lived a half a block away from each other in my hometown, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There was nothing in our environment that said I was going to go on to become Chris Gardner and she was going to go on to become Oprah Winfrey. There was nothing there. We chose. And there are a lot of people in this world who have also chosen. That's one of the things I've learned, this part of the journey in life. So many of us have chosen. And one of the most important things that we have chosen is to break these various cycles. Cycles like links in a chain. We've chosen to break these cycles. We've chosen that, you know what? Whatever was an issue or challenge or a problem for me does not have to become generational and get passed on to my children.
Yeah,
It's the main point, because everyone wants to be Cristiano, but I give you the map. You think you will do it that? It's difficult. It's
the discipline.
The discipline is the most difficult thing, not only in the sports, but in the life.
I don't care how good you are in anything, you don't have discipline, you ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline, because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
100%.
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
Doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. That is a great quote.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do that, you could be successful in anything.
You know, you normally are.
Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Think about every poor decision you've made in your life.
Gosh.
There was more emotion that was involved in it than there was mind. Every single one of them. Think about it.
Really was.
Your feelings keep you in bed. Your mind tells you, get up.
It's easy to give up. You know,
Hell
it's
yeah.
easy. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm done. I ain't going. I ain't gonna keep going.
Yeah,
I don't feel like going to work.
The
I'm
one,
done.
yeah, man.
It's easy. It's very easy. But what's hard is going, yo, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm gonna do the same thing again today, but I'm gonna try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
It's been very fun especially talking to young men about this. It's like, well, and that's the other thing too, is I think the world is full of darkness, let's say. And we could say each of us have a little bit of light. And if we release that light, if we let it shine properly, Christ, it's too cliched to go on with in some sense, but the world is a lesser place if you do not reveal from within yourself what you have to reveal. And the fact that the world is a lesser place actually turns out not to be trivial. Like if you aren't everything you could be, more people will die, more people will suffer, more evil will be unconstrained, more tyranny will reign, more chaos will remain chaotic and dangerous, all of that.
Do you mean this in the sense of like the old proverb of the wings of a butterfly fluttering become a hurricane?
It's something similar to that, but it can even be more local. It's like your family is more messed up than it could be if you were less messed up than you are.
Right.
So if you just got your act together, like 10% more, your family would be 1% better.
Right.
It's like, well, do it.
And that would ripple off into the people that they interact with.
Yes, and ripple, that's the other thing that's so cool, is that like people think, well, there's 7 billion of us, and each of us is just this separate dust mote, like floating in the cosmos, and what the hell difference does it make what you do anyways? It's like, that is not how we're connected. It's like, you're the center of a network, and you know way more people than this, but let's say typically, you're going to know 1,000 people in your life, well enough to have an impact on them, okay? And each of those 1,000 people is going to know 1,000 people. So you're one step from 1 million, and 2 steps from 1 billion. And we are networked, technically. That's how human interactions work. And so when you do something that you shouldn't do, it's worse than you think. And when you do something that you should do, it's better than you think. And so you think, well, this is why I've been telling people, well, clean up your room. It's like, well, your room is actually networked too. It's not that easy to clean up your room, to set it. So you want your room to be set up so that when you walk in there, it tells you to be better than you generally are. It's organized, it's got direction, everything's in its place. You try to do that in a chaotic household. You know, I've watched people do this because I had students do these sorts of things as assignments. I'd say, look, pick a small moral goal, clean up your room, and just write down what happens as a consequence. So maybe these are students in a chaotic household. The whole place is a bloody mess. No one's taking any responsibility for anything. And so they decide they're going to start to clean up their room. And then the people in the household notice. Well, the first thing they do is get pissed off. It's like, who do you think you are? Like, you think you're better than us? Like, why do you think this is worthwhile? Who died and made you God? All of that. So just by trying to organize this little part of their life, they immediately run into the people whose actions they're casting in a dim light by trying to improve themselves to some degree. They might have to have like a thorough war in their household to be allowed to do something as simple as keep the room orderly. You'll find out very rapidly that A, that's way more difficult than it sounds, and B, that the consequences of it are far more far-reaching than people think. So that's quite fun. No, because maybe part of it is that like everything around you is full of potential. Everything. Maybe more potential than you could ever possibly utilize. And so maybe all you have is this little rat hole of a room in some rundown place in the world. It's like, fix it up. There's more there than you think. See what happens if you fix it up. And you'll fix yourself up simultaneously because you'll have to get disciplined in order to fix up the room. Then you have a fixed up room and you'll be a more fixed up person. It's like, you think that nothing will happen as a consequence of that? It's like all hell will break loose as a consequence of that.
Trust me, you have a mindset right now, just like I have a mindset. It's how we view life. I know people with a negative mindset, which basically they view everything in a negative way. I know people with a positive mindset, which means they view everything in a positive way. People with an abundance mindset, a scarcity mindset. It's a way of thinking. The question is, how did we get there? How did we get that mindset? Through practice and habits. People that have a negative mindset have continually thought negatively. People that have a positive mindset have continually thought positively. You see, the things I do today determines the habits I have tomorrow, which determines the mindset that I have for life. So go back to what you do daily and ask yourself, what kind of a mindset am I developing today?
Okay, y'all ready for a lecture? Talk about the importance of nothing. You get up every day, you're entitled to nothing. Nobody owes you nothing. You could have talent, but if you don't have discipline and you don't execute, you don't focus, what do you get? Nothing. If you're complacent and not paying attention to detail, what does that get you? Nothing. So, nothing is acceptable but your best. So, we need to be, everything is determined by what you do and you trying to be your best so that you can build on positive performance. So that, and that's the only thing, there should be nothing else.
And it's also very much worth thinking about with regards to setting up your life in general. It's like, if you concentrate solely on your career, you can get a long way in your career. And I would say that that's a strategy that a minority of men preferentially do. That's all they do. They work like 70, 80 hours a week. They go flat out on their career. They're staking everything on the small probability of exceptional status in a narrow domain. But it's hard on them. They don't have a life. It's very difficult for them to have a family. They don't know how to take any leisure activity. Like, they get very one-dimensional. Now, it may be that unidimensionality is the price you have to pay to be exceptional at one thing, right? Because if you're going to be something like a genius level mathematician and you want to do that or a scientist, say, it's like, you're in your lab all the time, you're working 70 hours a week or 80 hours a week, you're smart, you're dedicated, you're unidimensional, and that's how you get to beat all the other people who are doing that. It's the only way. But the problem is you don't get a life. Now, if you love being a scientist and you have that kind of focus of mind, well, first of all, you're a rare person, and second, you're going to pay for it. But fine, more power to you. But it's a risky business to do that. You sacrifice a lot for it. And I would say most often, if you're speaking about having a healthy life, that isn't what you do. You spread yourself out more. So, you have a family, you have some things that you do outside of work that are meaningful to you and useful. You have a network of friends. Those 3 things alone, or 4 things alone, are plenty to keep you well oriented. And then if one of those things collapses, everything doesn't go. Now, the price you pay for that is the more you strive to optimize that balance, the less likely you are to be fantastically successful at any single one of them. But you might have a very, if you consider your life as a whole, that might be a winning strategy. It's like, I want one thing in my life to be 150%, or I want 5 things in my life to be 80%. Well, there's a lot more richness in a life where you have 5 things operating at 80%, but you're not operating at any of them at 150%. So, and I really believe this.
You know, I really don't have regrets. I am the person that says, you know, as soon as you look back in your history and you come up with something that you feel like you want to change, something else has to change. You know, so.
What about your biggest disappointment?
Once again, that's the same analogy. You know, disappointment to me, to win, you got to lose. To be successful, you got to have something that's not successful. To be happy, you got to have disappointment. So I think all of those things have evolved and happened to make me who I am and understand the benefits and the privileges I have for being who I am, you know, and not to wear it on my sleeve, be very humble about it. That's one thing my parents taught me very well is, you know, don't wear your reputation, don't wear your accolades, don't wear your personality on your sleeve. Let it happen, let it be you. It is who you are. Don't hide from it, but don't wear it and rub it in people's face.
You talk about performance without a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
So, like, for instance, let's say you have no races. Let's say you have no classes, no nothing. There's no purpose in your life. You know, people need to have purpose to get up. They need purpose to perform. You need to get to a point in your life where there's nothing on the docket. There's no 5K, there's no I'm gonna get into school to be this or that, and still perform to the highest level. Because what people don't get is one day that thing's gonna come up. And if you're not constantly performing without purpose, you're not gonna be ready when the time comes. It's this magical thing, purpose, that we're all looking for. But what's funny about it all is that we need these things to perform. But we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us because the very purpose is you. You are always the purpose. There may be another purpose, like being a SEAL or going to college or whatever, but the main purpose in life is you. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself. So that's the only purpose I fucking need. So the reason I get up every day, even though there's no race or there's no school, or there's nothing in front of me, is because I have pride in myself.
The key to being successful is planting. You've got to plant. Now, when you plant seeds, young people, you can't expect a harvest in 30 days. The harvest don't come in 30 days. You got to plant your seed, and sometimes the harvest don't come for years. Everything is not instant. So here's what I do. I get a row and I drop seeds in the ground. Then I go back and I cover them up with dirt, because the dirt, you need the dirt. Then once I cover it up, I dig another row and I plant some more seeds. I got about 10 rows planted. I look back at the first row and it's starting to sprout. Some stuff starting to come out the ground. I don't go back to that first row and just start eating, because it ain't really bearing no fruit right now. You can't eat the stalks and the leaves. You gotta wait till it bears fruit. In the meantime, you got to keep planting. Now, you're gonna look up in about 5 years, you're gonna look back at something you planted 5 years ago, gonna have a lot of fruit on it. Then you can go back and start partaking of that fruit. But the reason you gotta keep planting is because sometimes you're gonna get rained out. Sometimes it's gonna be a drought. Sometimes, man, the pesticides / haters is gonna do what they do to your planted crops. Now, you got to mentally be prepared for that. But the planting process can never stop. If I could tell anybody anything, keep planting seeds and never stop planting, because you have no idea when God gonna drop all the necessary rain and you look up and everything you need is right there.
the hardest part of all of it is being vulnerable enough to admit the abuse, admit the past. Most of us don't want other people to know that, and that's
right.
the hardest part, to open up and be that vulnerable.
Right.
When did that start to bubble to the surface for you and you start to see vulnerability as a strength?
Well, where it started making me, I had to stop giving a fuck about people. That was the biggest thing. I had to stop caring what people thought about me. I realized that everybody's fucked up. That's the one thing I realized. I walked around and I put these people on a fucking pedestal. Everybody was better than me. So I can't tell you anything about me because you're gonna judge me and I'm gonna feel even worse than what I am. What I realized, once I calmed my mind down and sat back and looked at how jacked up this world is, once you realize that you are not alone, everybody that's talking to you about how jacked up you are, only thing they've done better than you is they've hidden their fucked up world better than you have. That's all they've done. So once I realized that, if you want to sit back and, like for instance, there's all these things that are on TV and we have all these news people judging people who fuck up in life. And yeah, they made big mistakes. But that person who is judging you on TV, I guarantee you that news person is saying, I'm glad that my shit didn't come out, but I'm gonna judge the hell out of you. I know that about people. So if you want to sit back and judge how jacked up I was and how messed up my life was, Merry Christmas, go for it. Have a good time. But I'm smiling at you right now, knowing you have a secret that you're not willing to share. It gives you a lot of power when you're able to go on a podcast this big and say, hey, tell me, I'll tell you anything you want to know. I no longer care. And that is a lot of power in that. To be able to put your life on a billboard for the whole world to see and say, judge it, man. Judge it. Like just me talking about it makes me feel good. And that's another thing about it. When you are willing to talk about how jacked up you are, the strength, that big rock that you carry, it just starts to come off you. It just starts to come off. That's why I do it so often. I'm like, hey man, I'll tell you anything you want to know. I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired of not telling you shit. I'm tired of lying about how good I'm not.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, there is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living. Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything except my faith. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Fall forward. This is what I mean. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks.
Because as humans, I think naturally we go into situations sometimes and we're selfish. And so we want to see, how can this benefit me? How can I go into the situation and it best benefits me and everybody that I'm connected? Like, how can I get the edge in this situation? Instead of stepping back and understanding that when you're selfish, it's a dangerous thing, because when you're selfish and you go into situations at a certain point in life, we're always going to come up against something that's a lot tougher than us. And if we're always selfish, 9 out of 10 times, if the only thing we think about is just ourselves, when we hit something that's a lot tougher than us, we don't have a driving force to do what we do. And so it's easy for us to surrender, step back and say, man, forget it. I'll throw it away. It's just like I'm married, right? And so I'm young, I'm 6 years in. And so I went to an old couple one time and they were married some crazy years, 60 years, something like that. And I said, right, crazy, insane. But I'm saying, how did you make it last that long? And they said, the reason we made it last this long is because we come from an era when something is broken, we don't throw it away, we fix it. And so as people, the way I approach situations, how can when something is broken, I don't throw it away and I don't let the circumstance or the situation define my life, but I try to figure out how can I fix it, and fixing it may not be my arm working, but fixing it may be me using it every day to be a blessing in somebody else's life.
How do you develop consistency and more discipline in your life? And often with these kind of ideas or questions, I find the focus wrong, and I like to look at it differently from a different angle. So the human brain operates by pleasure and pain. What is pleasurable, we're attracted to, and what is painful, we naturally recoil from. And if things become too painful, we never do them. And if things become pleasurable, we get addicted to them, often with bad consequences. All right? So if the idea of discipline, of consistently doing an action, is only associated with pain, with tedium, with being by yourself in a room, doing one thing over and over and over again, you're never going to get over the mountain because it's associated with too much pain, and the brain naturally shrinks from anything that's painful. Okay? So there has to be pleasure involved. Discipline has to have an element of pleasure. Consistently doing your work has to have rewards. Reward is the key word here, right? So if you never feel direct, pleasurable sensation from what discipline is giving you, then it's never going to work. Well, what are the rewards? When you were young, when you were a child, if you learned a sport, or you learned a musical instrument, or you learned chess, you knew that in the beginning, day by day, it was boring as shit. You hated it. It wasn't fun. But if you stuck with it, after 3 months, 6 months, wow, I can play this tune. Yeah, I can make a 3-point shot. Yeah, I can win a chess game here. All right? There's a reward. And then you push through and you go further and further and further and further. Okay? If you never had that experience in your childhood, then it's pretty rough. I think most of us have had that in some kind of endeavor. But if you've never experienced a reward from discipline, it's going to be very difficult for you. But you have to know that after the 3 months or the 6 months of sitting in your office and writing every single day over and over and over again, as you're trying to write a book or a novel or whatever, it's boring as hell. But man, I'm going to reach that moment in 3 months and 4 months. There's going to be a reward, and I'm going to feel it, and I'm going to get addicted. I'm going to get hooked to that. And you get hooked to those rewards to the point where other kinds of immediate pleasures don't have the same effect on you. And you want this again and again and again in your life. The highs that come from actually reaching your goals. So you have to think in the moment of this where you're trying to discipline yourself of what will be the reward, of the visualize it and feel it. I'm going to have this skill at the end. I'm going to have this business that I've started. I'm going to have this sense of pride. I'm going to have this sense that I got where I wanted to. And literally visualize it and imagine it and feel it in your body and know that that's where I'm going to have that reward at some point. And if it's too much drudgery and tedium, you're never going to get past that point. So that's sort of my main lesson.
In life, we have these 5 buckets, right? The first bucket is our knowledge, which is what we know. When we apply what we know, it becomes a skill, right? And these first 2 buckets, your knowledge and your skills, are the only buckets in your life that no professional earthquake can ever unfill. They're also the buckets that overflow to fill these last 3 buckets, which is your network, your resources, and your reputation. When you have knowledge and skills, you'll undoubtedly build a network that will lead to resources, and finally reputation. Life can take away these last 3 buckets, but if you're a young person, the key takeaway here is when you're selecting that job, like I was at 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, don't select for reputation, a nice jobs title. Don't even select for resources, getting paid more. Focus on jobs that will fill these first 2 buckets, which is knowledge and skills.
You want to have more joy and satisfaction at work, you need to engage it differently. Even when it sucks. How many of you have had like 3 months of doing suck work? Anybody? Just like the last 3 months, you're like, God, this sucks. Anybody? Yeah, you should celebrate that. Say, that's me! It's totally okay when you have suck work sometimes. How do you engage with it? Because what most people do, they hate it. They hate the struggle. They hate the suck. But if you ever work with elite army people, they have this great saying, right? Especially the Green Berets, I love that saying. They say you have to embrace the suck. And I was like, ooh, that's good, guys. You gotta embrace the suck. Because you know what? If you avoid it or you hate it, look, anything you pour hate on grows into a monster. Anything you go hate on. If you hate taking out the garbage, guess what taking out the garbage is to you now? A monster. It's just garbage. But you hate taking out the garbage, so now it becomes a thing to you and your spouse. The garbage became a monster between you and your spouse. Really? It's because someone applied hate on that garbage, right? You apply hate to anything, it grows into a monster. You hate the commute to work, and you got to do it every day? How does that feel? You hate doing email, and you got to do it every day? How does that feel? You hate bringing that topic up with your spouse? How does that feel?
And there's a very deep truth here that points to the arising of a mentally created self-image that people have and live with. So it's almost as if you had a phantom that walks with you wherever you go, that is your mind-created image or concept of who you are. And that is what we call the ego. The ego is a mental image conditioned by the past, conditioned by your environment and many other factors. A mental image, a conceptual sense of self that you identify with so completely that you disappear in it and live through it. You believe that that is who you are.
When nothing seems to go right, I sometimes think of a stonecutter hammering away at his rock 100 times without a detonate. And yet on the 101st blow, the rock will split in two, and I know it was not that blow that did it, but all that had gone before. If you're not willing to practice and practice until you get it right, you'll never make the 100 blows that makes the breakthrough on the 101st.
First little question to you is, why not you? You've got the brains, you can make decisions, you can study the plan, you can change your life, you can grow immensely in the next few years, you can make your dreams come true, you can build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through, you can become healthy, you can become powerful. Why not you? And I'm here to say that I'm ready to pledge my support to make your personal dreams come true. I asked the question, why not you? But I'm not going to ask it and just walk away. I'm going to ask it and walk with you in this journey as we take Herbalife around the world. And now here's my last question. My very last question on the questions to ponder is, why not now? There never was a better time. Mark has brought Herbalife to an incredible mountaintop. He's brought Herbalife with the help of others who have brought it here. It has been brought to a special moment. Barcelona was special, and Orlando was outrageous. But I'm telling you, this extravaganza has been the most awesome thing I have ever seen. All of your cooperation, the way you have learned and listened and worked hard to get it all, I congratulate you for that. But Mark brought us here. And what a time now for us to take this dream and not let it die. Take this dream and give it life. Take this dream and breathe into it your own personal spirit until finally it becomes a flame that burns around the whole world. Let's go do it now.
Well, life took me somewhere unexpected. I'm unprepared. It's about 6 degrees out here, and I'm underdressed. But guess what? No one gives a fuck. You gotta get the motherfucker in. Sometimes life can really hijack your fucking mind. When that happens to you, you're all fucked up. Your goals, your ambitions, everything is out the fucking window. In life, we all go through different things. Sometimes your girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with you. Guess what? Get the fuck over it. They no longer want you. Maybe you failed a test in school, you worked your ass off. Guess what? You failed the fucking test. Get over it, move past it. Learn to not let life hijack your brain. At work, you've been working your ass off for that new promotion. You don't fucking get it, someone else does. Maybe they kiss better ass than you do. Guess what? Get over it. Life will hijack your mind if you let it. Don't allow all these things to make you a lesser person. You must own your mind, Don't let life own yours. Get after it, stay hard.
Watch, what do you say to the person whose potential is fucking great, but they want to play video games and eat pizza?
Well, what I told his son was pretty much this right here. He asked me a question about, he wants to be really good at tennis. But what happens is after I play tennis for a while, I want to go play video games. You obviously don't fucking want it bad enough. Because a person that you want to, I became obsessed. I became obsessed with being the baddest motherfucker that God ever created. Am I that? I don't care. I believe it. And I was trying to tell him, once you become obsessed with something, obsessed, it's okay to be unbalanced for a while. It's okay. Don't be all this stuff people say, you gotta be balanced. To be the best in the world at what you do. It's not about being a Navy SEAL, people. The best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of fucking energy and strength that you have to pull it off. Then you get balanced once you become great. And then you help other people become better from you being the best in the world. So if your family doesn't understand, why are you so daggone crazy? Because I'm trying to be the best I can to give you the best that I am. And it takes being fucking obsessed to where people think you're crazy. People look at me and say, oh my God, you're a masochist, you're this and that. I'm not gonna get into how bad I was in all these races and SEAL training. I had 21 stretch fractures going through Hell Week. 21 stretch fractures. You know what I did? I taped my ankles up. Roger that. I wanna be a SEAL. So I did it. Become obsessed with being great. It changes everything. There's no fucking passion. There's no fucking motivation. There's no, oh my God, man, no. It's every day of your life just doing. No passion, no discipline, no motivation. All these words, I hate that so many people fucking use these words now because it's watered. It's someone sitting in a room by themselves and they figure themselves out and say, God, this is gonna fucking suck. Where's passion when you're 300 pounds? Where's the motivation when you can't read and write? Where is it? So how did this happen? I just fucking did. I just did. I said, maybe at the end of this journey, there'll be something there for me. If not, I can read. If not, I'm 185 fucking pounds. There was no magic potion. There's no, oh, let me wake up and look at some shit. No. All those words are overused. They're bullshit. It's all bullshit. Just do. You're living. How do you want to live? How do you want to die? How do you want to fucking be remembered? That's it. That's it. Period. So for me, failure is something that you should be afraid of. It should be afraid of. But that's why you should go out there and challenge yourself to fail. Because if you're not failing at something, that means you've set your goals to pass, to succeed at everything you do, which means you're not setting your goals high enough. So for me, okay, I'm gonna go out and break the Guinness Book of World Record for pull-ups. Lofty goal, which is why I failed it twice before I finally got it. I knew going into everything I've ever done in my life, Navy SEAL training 3 times before I got it. Everything I've ever done in my life took me 3 times before I got it. I knew that there was a huge possibility of failure. But what I gained from failure is this. When you see a movie and you watch a movie about a person who keeps failing, and at the end, they succeed, how do you feel after you watch that movie?
Elated.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
I become the movie. I want to feel how I feel watching someone else in the movie. When I watched Rocky get his ass kicked and I watched all these different things of failure, I was able to put myself there and say, God, man, how much do you feel now that you finally got there? That's what failure has done to me. I've watched so many things and watched someone succeed at the end of it. It's like, God, I want to feel like that. But failure causes that one feeling. Without that failure involved, you don't have that feeling. If you just pass and you succeed and you're great, that feeling, yeah, okay, I'm good. What takes you years months, years to accomplish because you just can't get over the hump. But you continue going back to the drawing board. You're looking for those few seconds after you finally figure out the equation, whatever the equation may be, to get you to finally pass, to succeed. I live for that feeling, but I can't get that feeling without going through, fuck, I failed this equation, I failed this one, I failed this one, I failed this one. Oh, I'm figuring it out. So you start to feel it before you even pass, before you even get to the success part. And then once you succeed, the feeling is unbelievable. And you take that feeling of success through failure and you put it in your cookie jar. And you say, I'll come back and get you again. I'm gonna need you again down the road in my life. I'm a big believer in doing things that make you uncomfortable. So we live in a world that we want to be as comfortable as we can. And we wonder why we have no growth. We wonder why when the smallest thing in our life gets difficult, we wonder why we cower and we run away. Because we are kind of living our whole life is set up that way. Our whole life is set up in the path of least resistance. We don't want to suffer. We don't want to feel discomfort. So the whole time we're living our lives in a very comfortable area. There's no growth in that. So for me, I realized that. The reason I became 297 pounds is because that was comfortable. What was very uncomfortable was running. What was very uncomfortable was being on a diet. What was very uncomfortable was trying to face things that I didn't want to face. And I also realized when I was really big, I had no growth. Why? Because I was living comfortable. So I realized for me to find growth, I had to face all of these different things that made me very, very uncomfortable. And that's the one thing I'll say right now to people listening is a real person, a real alpha, a real go-getter, they ain't saying shit about nobody. That's why you will never, ever hear me dropping somebody's name, running my mouth about somebody. I don't know what you went through. I don't know what you're going through. I didn't wear the shoes you wore when you were a kid. I didn't grow up in your fucked up house. I didn't have your fucked up family. I don't know shit about you. So guess what I do? Shut the fuck up. Because real men don't say shit. Because first of all, we're too busy trying to grind and be better. Correct. Second of all, unless we know what we know, we shut our fucking mouths. But nowadays, there's not many real men who live by that creed of like, you know, if you're on social media running your fucking mouth and shit, you're just a bitch.
Correct.
You're honestly, and that's not me trying to be some after school special shit. You really are a bitch. Real men ain't doing it. Real men don't care about that gossipy bullshit. Get to work, man.
The best way to get the optimum results out of your day is to plan your day the night before. There are two reasons for this. Too often during the day, we're just responding to everyone else's needs instead of doing our intended plan. So if you don't have a plan, you're guaranteed not to be doing what you want to do. You'll be responding to other people. The second reason for planning your day the night before is you can rationally decide what you're going to do at what time of the day. Too often people just work from a to-do list. What you want is to schedule exactly what you're going to do at what time. Schedule how long you think it's going to take. And by doing it the night before, here's the payoff. All night long, your unconscious and subconscious mind is going to be working on how to make that happen. It's going to be coming up with creative ideas, pulling information from your past memory into the present so you can utilize it, and literally planning your perfect day. It's like having an employee working for you all night long. If you do it in the morning, you don't get that benefit. And then start to work your plan. Plan your life, work your plan. You're going to be very, very successful.
Find something. Find a thing that you genuinely enjoy, because getting good at things you genuinely enjoy is extremely beneficial for young people, because it lets you know that, like, everybody thinks they're a loser. Every young person thinks they're a loser. At least a young person in the situation I was at. Like, I didn't know I wasn't a loser until I started winning, until I started doing martial arts. Martial arts taught me that, like, I could get better at stuff, that I wasn't really a loser. I just was someone who was, like, in a fucked up situation. but you could channel all that energy that you have as a young person into something and get better at it. And then all of a sudden people admired me. I was like, this is crazy. So I went from being someone who was incredibly insecure and basically a failure to someone who was really successful at this one thing that was very dangerous.
I fell in love with an essay by Strangest Loop, and it is a list of things that are not doing the thing. So here is a list of things that are not doing the thing. Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Messaging friends who may or may not be doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Writing a banger tweet about how you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on yourself for not doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on other people who have done the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on the obstacles in the way of you doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Fantasizing about all of the adoration you'll receive once you do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how other people did the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading this essay isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing.
I would like to know when you're in that moment failing and you have to keep going, what do you say to yourself?
What if? A lot of times I'll be in a 200-mile run or something like that, and I'm all jacked up. Body's broken, mind's broken, spirit's broken. I start to say, what if I can pull this off? When I first walked into the Navy SEAL recruiter's office, he looked at me and said, there's only been 35 African Americans in 70 years make it through. You know what I said to myself? What if I can be the 36th? It's the what if I can pull off a fucking miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be?
Job offers will come to you. Money will come to you if you have this kind of inner strength, this kind of inner power that I think is the ideal for young men today in the world. It's very confusing right now because everything is so fluid and we're all supposed to think that there's no such thing as masculinity anymore, that it's toxic. But real masculinity, that real kind of strength that I'm talking about, is not toxic at all. It is not out there to hurt people. It's not out there to dominate, to be aggressive, to push people around. It's all about an inner strength, an inner confidence that you radiate outward. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I advocate making that your ideal and making that the kind of the radar that guides you through these very difficult times.
Getting over failure and finding success begins with taking 100% responsibility for your life. You have to give up your excuses and victim stories. You have to drop all the reasons you can't succeed or haven't succeeded so far. I know it's a challenge, but if you want to get ahead, you have to take complete responsibility for everything you experience in your life. When we have setbacks, we get sidetracked with blame and excuses, and we give away the power of personal responsibility. You can change that. When something doesn't turn out, you can ask yourself, how did I create that situation? What did I say or not say? How did I get the other person to act that way? You may think you can't control other people's actions and you're right. You can't. But we have a part in everything that happens. What if you hear that people have said something bad about you? Maybe it isn't even true, but you can think back and see your part in it. Maybe you've criticized them in the past without having all the information. Maybe they've heard you criticize others. Our actions affect people in ways we can never imagine. And finally, you want to ask yourself the real power question. What will I do differently next time to get the result I want? It's great to know what you did to contribute to your own difficulties, but it's pretty useless if you don't put that knowledge to work. Let it help you. Let it move you forward.
After watching that film, I come to understand if I could work that hard every day, being blessed with the physical tools that I have, what would my career be? And I made a promise to myself that day that I was going to work that hard every single day so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing. Get better every single day. If I live that way over time, I have something that was beautiful. And that was my philosophy. It seems like it's pretty simple. If you live your life to just get better every single day, you got 20 years, you will be happy.
Say is when you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side. You can change it. You can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. I think that's very important. And however you learn that, once you learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.
That kind of big decision. And I'd already talked to my wife about this, and she was very supportive of some of now 100%. Whatever you want to do, it's true. She had married this kind of really stable guy, stable career path. Now he wanted to go do this crazy thing, but she was 100%. So it really was a decision that I had to make for myself. And the framework I found, which made the decision incredibly easy, was what I called, which only a nerd would call, a regret minimization framework. So I wanted to project myself forward to age 80 and say, okay, now I'm looking back on my life. I want to have minimized the number of regrets I have. And I knew that when I was 80, I was not going to regret having tried this. I was not going to regret having wanted, trying to participate in this thing called the internet that I thought was going to be a really big deal. I knew that if I failed, I wouldn't regret that. But I knew the one thing I might regret is not ever having tried. And I knew that would haunt me every day. And so when I thought about it that way, it was an incredibly easy decision. And I think that's a very good, it's if you can project yourself out to age 80 and sort of think, what will I think at that time? It gets you away from some of the daily pieces of confusion. I left this Wall Street firm in the middle of the year. When you do that, you walk away from your annual bonus. And that's the kind of thing that in the short term can confuse you. But if you think about the long term, then you can really make good life decisions that you won't regret later.
It's very important for me. I'm always a competitive player. Not just in the games, I'm in the training, I'm like that. In the home, with my sisters, with my mom, with my nephews, I'm always try to competitive hard and try to win. I'm like that. I never change. Because I like this, I like what I do, I like my life, I'm a happy person. So competitive is part of my life. So in Madeira, in Madrid, in England, I always want to win, I always competitive person, so it's part of me.
What I do love is when I do a race and on the edge, the last race, for example, I was dead at the end. I was pushing so hard. And really enjoying it. That's what racing's all about. I'm generally pretty hardcore, I want a hard race. I want to be destroyed afterwards. It doesn't matter if, of course I want to win, but as long as you've put up a good battle and you've given 110%, you've left with zero, it's not like, I had a couple percent left, but I finished the race. I'm like, I want to be completely depleted after the race, knowing that I gave it my all and I didn't make, very many mistakes, and then I can go home proud.
We live in a world now that's so kind. We find the kind way around everything. Like, if you don't look good, I have to find a kind way of saying, I don't like your shirt. Right. That's not the approach. If that's the approach you're looking for, that book is not for you. Can't hurt me is not for you. The approach you have to take at least I took. You take whatever approach you want. The conversation had to be a real, honest conversation. In the accountability mirror, guess what? I was fat. Don't find a kind word to say that, you know what, I've gained some weight. No, you're fat. When I couldn't read, not like, hey, you know, you have a learning disability. No, I cannot read. I have a 4th grade reading level, I'm struggling, and sometimes I call myself stupid. Not in a way to put myself down. So don't take it like, my God, those are so hurtful. Yeah, they're hurtful, dishonest. The conversation has to become an honest conversation of where you're at mentally. Where am I at mentally? I look like I feel like I'm not this, I'm falling behind in school. I'm lazy. My house is a mess. You have to look at what it is and call it what it is. Don't find words to make yourself feel better, because that's what, so we hang around people that make us feel better, that tell us what we want to hear, not what we need to hear. And so we stay away from those people. And we stay away from those people, like our internal dialogue becomes that kind, it's okay, it's not okay. So that's where it starts. It starts with that accountability of it's not okay anymore. This can no longer be okay. And calling yourself out for exactly what you are and exactly how you need to fix it.
I wanted to excel my game and isolate my game from everybody else. That I was more than just, a few dimensional. Even when it came to Magic Johnson, Magic Johnson was a crowd pleaser. He was a good offensive player. He was a great motivator. Average defensive player. I wanted to change that. I wanted to take it another step. I wanted to do all those things, that could separate me from Magic Johnson. I'm not saying he wasn't great. He still is great. But we're great in our own different way, and that was motivational for me, and to this day it still is. I never feel that I'm at my best. I feel I still have room to improve. I still set goals for myself to strive for. I'm never complacent with what I've achieved. Even though it's been very successful for me, I still feel I have a lot to prove, not just as a player, but as a person, as a father, to some extent as a role model in all aspects. So I'm never really too complacent with myself or with what I've achieved. When I get to a point where I feel I can improve as a player, I walk away from the game. I still feel that I have a plateau that I hadn't reached yet in terms of my skills or my expectations of myself. I'm always going to expect myself to do certain things or surpass certain things. As long as I believe that, then my road to success is going to continue to expand.
Your whole life has been a fight.
Yes.
And that's the way you've actually liked it.
Yes.
You were brought up in an environment like that.
Where I came from, it was about survival mode. And to survive, you needed to be tough. You needed to show you're tough. And that's where I came from. But I brought it in my game also. I'm not afraid to say what I think. I'm not afraid to do what I believe in. Then afterwards they give you or nothing. It's me. I cannot change me. I'm not here to be beautiful or to be perfect to somebody. I think being yourself is perfect. You will do mistakes, you will learn from your mistakes. And you will still do mistakes. And me getting angry and that's me. I need to get fired up. So that's how I bring out sharpness. That's how I bring out the best out of me when I walk on fire. Because if you make me feel too comfortable, I'm playing to win. And to win, I will destroy you. I will do everything to win. And I need to win. Because when I win is my proof that I am alive.
For me as a driver, I change. I improve all the time through experiences, not race by race, not just race by race, but in life. I'm taking all these different experiences, positive or negative, extracting the best bits out of them, learning, becoming older and wiser. I'm 23 years old, and I think I'm quite wise for my age. I think I still got a long way to go, but then when it comes to driving, I excel. I push beyond the limits. When I'm training, I go beyond the pain barriers. I just do everything I can to make sure that when I arrive at the racetrack, I've already got 2-3 tenths on the other guys.
You described yourself on the pitch as believing you were a lion. Is that right?
I am a lion.
You are a lion. Are there enough lions around you in this team?
Listen, I will be honest to myself. The table is not lying. I think the team is where it is because it is what it is. If we would be number one, we would be number one. Top 4 for me, it's last time I came second, I don't even remember that. Was in Milan.
AC Milan.
AC Milan. And
you didn't like that?
No.
You said it was something you weren't used to.
That was the first position of the last ones, so that I don't really like. And
you described that season as a failure.
It is a failure.
So this, whatever happens,
whatever comes after the first one is a failure.
You stare at your past and you'll end up staying there. It's okay to look back and admire it, but you carry on. I'm not in the business of staring back at it. You know what I mean? And getting lost back there. People say a loss can make or break a fighter, but trust me, a win can also make or break a fighter because they get comfortable with a win. People can get comfortable with a win, and slack off then. Slack off on the training. Slack off on the diet. They've won one. They're winners now. That's not me. You know, you sleep on a win and you'll wake up with a loss. So I just carry on, keep doing what I'm doing. And that's why this turnaround is so good for me. Vegas, straight away. The Fighting Irish head to the fighting capital. It's perfect. Continue on this path, the freight train straight to the top.
Sports is a tool that teaches, you know, and it teaches you bad things. It can also teach you good things. It's how you perceive those things. I've looked at every experience that I've had, negative and positive, and taken that as a positive. You know, if I wouldn't change anything because I think it would alter some of the other things that happened. You know, so when I look back, I can't say that I've had any bad things happen. Sure, I mean, you don't want bad things to happen, but you deal with bad things. You can't have good or without bad.
Maybe, I don't know, the Irish people might understand more. A young boy dreaming of putting on the Irish jersey or dreaming of putting on his favourite football team's jersey and that crest and lifting that cup, you know, this is my crest. These gloves right here, these UFC gloves, you know. Be the first Irish man to put these on, to lace these up and get in and do the job. Honestly, no one can take that away from me, no matter what. Honestly, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I don't care about nothing else. I don't know about nothing else, you know what I mean? Don't even listen to it. If I start talking about something else, just don't listen, I'm talking shit. But if I talk about this, if I talk about unarmed combat, if I talk about the human anatomy, you know what I mean? The way the human body moves, then listen.
My thinking is so superior, and my knowledge is so positive, and my logic is so wise until it clashes with the mentality, which is down here and I'm up there. So by me being so high, I can see more and see farther than you. And you looking up at me saying, Ali, don't do it. Ali, please stop, you make it hurt. And you on a job making 60, 70 pounds a week, or whoever this guy is. Never been out of the country, not known in his own neighborhood. Ali, don't do it. But I'm at such a high level until I don't think like you. I'm not like you. I know I say you, I mean the other person.
But you know why they say that. I mean, it's for the best possible reasons, though.
They fear and they are wary. It looks dangerous to them.
That's
but
right.
It's not really that dangerous to me.
Have you ever met any of the people that bullied you?
Yeah, many of them. I think I was more bullied by the media than people around me.
Really?
If I'm honest.
But the ones who bullied you when you were young, you've met them since you were successful?
I've seen them, but I haven't really talked to them because friends come and go. Because you have friends when you're young, but you will understand who your real friends is when money come in the picture.
What do you feel, though, about those bullies? Do you feel I showed you, or do you feel anything?
You know what? Everybody has a dream to become something. If we share the same dream, I don't have any hate for that person, because if we share the same dream, we believe in the same thing, and then I make it, you don't make it, and you treat me bad when you were young, I cannot dislike you. It's the same thing now on the field. If I fight with somebody, if I don't like somebody on the field, I cannot hate that person because we share the same dream.
But is the best revenge success?
In some moments, yes. Because like I describe my anger when I do things, let's say the media attack me. They call me, they say stupid things about me. They say things, because remember, I played when you didn't have digital platforms. So I could not react like the way we can react today, because you can do whatever, you just use digital platform, you get your saying. On my time, I had to wait. I had to wait until I see next time that person, and I would say it in his face, or I would catch him and I would do something there, and there was no limits there.
Have you hit journalists?
No, but I've been close by to have that anger to hit them. But I didn't come so far because I was always like, it will come back to me.
You are pretty good about celebrating the victories along the way and celebrating yourself.
I talk about it with my fiance every single day. I talked about it with her 2 hours today. I said, we are grinding so hard that we are losing the vantage point of what we have accomplished today. We got podcast, interview, flying, do this, do that. I'm like, stop. It's just me and you and this mom and pop thing that we're doing. Look at where this book is at right now.
It's crazy.
Look how many people we're touching. Shut up and just think for a second. Let's stop. Because all we did was talk about this and this. We got to keep. I go, no, enjoy this for a second. We have to take time and realize what we've accomplished here.
That's an evolution for you, man.
Huge. But
that's a very different David Goggins than even from a couple of years ago.
Huge. Because you have to. What is it all about? I'm going to keep on grinding. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, though, is you have to respect what you've done. Take a second. Not live in it. Not sit around and say, I'm good. Sit back and say, let me look at the vantage point now that I'm at. That's why you reset the vantage point. Get the tactical advantage. If you get the tactical advantage too quick and start fighting, you got to take a second to take observation of where I'm at. What have I done? Am I in the right spot? I'm obviously in the right spot right now. Now we can go back to fighting.
You know, I'm sure Henry will tell you, any fighter that knows what's happening, you really can't plan a fight when you're meeting a man you've never met before, right? You just have to get your tools ready. Here's a car stops on the highway. They call the AAA or whatever and say, my car's broke down. What it is, the lady, she don't know it's broke. Well, the man comes with all the tools and he come equipped to handle whatever the problem is. An astronaut goes into space and he pretends that something happens to the ship before he take off. He gets out and he works on it. He's not looking for something to happen, but it might happen. So I just had everything ready. Now, after the first round, being here with a top professional, a man so great, had so many knockouts, never been defeated, never been even scratched, I didn't know really how good he was. So I had to come in, actually a little nervous, and with everything ready. After one round of dancing, I found out that this would tire me out. So I would have to resort to ropes. I figured that out after the first round. So I said, I'm going to go to these ropes, and I'm going to let this man throw everything he can, let him tire himself out. He might look like he's winning, and if he don't hurt me, I'm going to stay here. But if he should be as great as they say he is, if he hits as hard as they say he hit, when he hits you and breaks your arm, he knocked out Joe Frazier, I couldn't do it, knocked out Ken Norton, he was a big bad giant before the fight, you remember. Now you remember that, don't you? Yeah, how bad he was? They don't say that now, but you remember he was a real bad cat the other day, right? Don't forget that. Now, after I found out he didn't have it, I stayed there. But if he had what I thought he had or what they said he had, I'd have kept running, hoping I wouldn't get tired.
The first year was the first year I'm at McLaren. I've got the two-time world champion. He just won the championship 2006. 2007, he's got number one in his car. I'm going to be number two because that's how it goes. And I remember sitting, testing, just studying. I've got to make sure that I somehow I'm going to match this guy. I believe in myself that I'm somewhere in me, there's the speed to keep up with and beat this guy. So, and then before the first race, Ron said in his office, he's like, look, you got to expect and don't be surprised if you're half a second behind Fernando at the first race. You don't know what that did to me inside. I was so...
What did it do?
I was like, it just boiled me inside. because he obviously not undervalued me, because he obviously gave me the role, but he was not expecting me to be able to answer to his special new guy. And so
he said, "Do you expect to be beaten?"
Yeah. And so
and your life had not been about expecting to be beaten.
No. So I mean, I trained like crazy. I prepared. He did beat me in qualifying, and he did beat me in the first race, but I finished just behind him, third. And after that, I think I beat him in the next race. No, I didn't beat him. I think maybe the third race I beat him, and then I beat him in the championship at the end of the year, my rookie year.
The only thing we can do is take one day at a time. You know, it's all we can do. No one is perfect. Every day we strive to be perfectionists, but no one is perfect. I make mistakes. You know, I've said things that I shouldn't have said when I was younger. I've done things that I shouldn't have done when I was younger. I'm not perfect, but we live and we learn. And that's a part of growing.
Jealousy, people jealous of you, comes with success. So anytime you're successful, people gonna be jealous of you. When people not always gonna like you. Sometimes when you're in class, some people don't like you when you're in school, right? But that don't stop you from going, right? And you still go there and be your best, right? It's the same thing like my job. I still go there and be at my best.
I have the ability to see the end before the beginning even begins. And what that means is I know that to get to the very end, I can see it right now. So before I went to Buds, and I was losing all this weight, I saw myself walking across the stage at 191 pounds, 'cause that's what I had to get to get into the door. I saw myself 6 months, a year later, whatever's gonna take me to do it, I saw myself walking across that stage, getting that certificate of graduation from Buds. And I was able to be there at 300 pounds. And that feeling, that I was nowhere near that feeling, I was able to put myself there 1,000,000 times every day. And that feeling of like, my God, that is gonna feel amazing. That's what made me suffer. That's what allowed the pain to be real and say, this is worth it. I want to feel for this next 18 months. It took me 18 months to finally become a Navy SEAL, to finally, just get through Buds. 18 months, it's 6 months. It took me 18. That's what woke me up every morning was, I'm gonna put myself through this much pain and suffering for a few seconds. That's all it is. A few seconds of joy. And it's so worth it, man. That's what people don't get. So I'm able to put myself at the finish line, even though I have no finish line, but at the finish line of an event before I even start the and say, how are you going to feel at the end of this? Visualizing is my biggest tool of life. That's why I've been able to put myself in cold water, put myself in a 100-mile race millions of times before I've done it. And I'm able to go through the race and see how I'm going to feel at mile 50. Almost to the exact feeling.
Right, so when it comes up, it's no surprise.
It's no surprise. I've already done this 1,000,000 times.
I mean, I think I just had a game plan. I had a brilliant game plan. The game plan was to be very outspoken. You know, I was born with personality. I was born with charisma. Speak my mind. Speak from the heart. You know, I don't hate or dislike anyone. I want to go out there, and just do what I have to do inside that square circle. Choose a tremendous team on the outside that's going to help me take things to the next level, and that's what I did.
How do you apply that to business? So what you've learned in boxing, the lessons, being a champion, how?
That's interesting because you have to know in business, as in boxing, you have to know how to market yourself. Yeah. You have to know what's going to allow people to fill up the seats. Yeah. And my situation came about, I was the killer. I was the psycho tough guy. I was the anti-hero. I wasn't a good guy, I wasn't a bad guy, just, what I was. Yeah, dangerous. This is a dangerous sport, boxing, and it's about making as much money you can and taking the less risk as possible.
Yeah, well, what do you view yourself as?
Businessman all the way, entertainer all the way. Never think about, I'm the champ of the world. Yeah. Never think about that stuff because I won't be able to move forward.
How do you think then sports and business can be similar or related?
Sports and business are the same. It's two ways. Sports, like me, right?
Yeah.
I'm the show. Now I'm the business.
Yeah.
So that's show business.
Yeah, exactly.
Before I was just the show.
Yeah. Now you got the full story. That's it. Now you got the full story.
Yeah. When I first met, because we didn't talk about punching and moving your head, we all talk about the psychology of boxing and the psychology of fear. And he had the psychology of fear down to a science. That was just, it was all psychological because I believe boxing was 90% psychological and 10% physical. And I was pretty much a psychological fighter, even though I would come across fierce. That's all part of the psychological game, intimidation, being the tough guy, and all these antics. And it was very successful towards me.
You said, I read a quote that you said you love business as much as basketball. There's no way that's true.
It's 100% true.
There's no way. Basketball was your life, your passion, everything. You're telling me you love doing business as much. If you could, basically snap a finger and be 25-year-old Kobe or the Kobe today, you wouldn't go back and keep playing basketball?
No. A lot of people doubted me. Thought I was either faking an injury or didn't want to play for a team. And that was disappointing to me that was out in the media because I love the game of basketball. Like I always say, if we're not playing this game, if we're hurt, you're down. Doesn't matter what anybody has to say about me. I know who I am as a person. I know how I feel. And always just trust yourself. And that was my goal and my focus. And, that's one of the things that I take on the floor. I don't care about what media has to say about me or if they want me to score whatever, 30 points, because I did the game before. I'm going to come out and play the right way. I'm not trying to make headlines. And, that's just things that, I pretty much learned just throughout this journey of being in the NBA. And so, that's how I just keep growing up as a man, and that's why I say I just think about my past life and try to learn from situations and be wise and learn from others.
All the good fighters are not fighting each other. It's a Dante Wilder. He's knocking out everybody, but he hasn't fought a rated guy. Yeah, he's a couple of guys he should fight before he fights Klitschko or fought this other guy, the gentleman from Haiti. What's his name again? Esteban. He should fight some contenders. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter, he can't fight. It looks like he was gonna win. Before the fight even started, this guy's gonna win. That's not what boxing's all about. Boxing's about being pushed, about being challenged, about challenging yourself. Muhammad Ali, they talk about Rocky Marciano 49-0. Rocky Marciano got his ass kicked. He fought for that O. He fought the best fighter. They beat his ass, he came back. He didn't have the undefeated record by osmosis. He fought for it. These guys are not fighting for it, the undefeated records. If you lost a fight, look, Ali's the greatest fighter ever lived, and he lost. No one's gonna ever be better than him. He's the greatest fighter ever lived, and he lost. So being undefeated doesn't mean anything if you don't push yourself and go through the test.
Was it a hard decision, like I'm going pro, or did you just know? Because A-Rod obviously did the same thing. As a young kid, 17, 18, going to be a pro athlete.
It was a tough decision. Ultimately, the key factor for me wasn't whether or not I was ready. It was the fact that if I wasn't ready, I was determined to figure out how to get ready. And ultimately, even if I was ready, I still need to improve anyway, right? So the work's not going to stop. And it was just a matter of, do you want to come to the league and learn from the best? And I'm doing the math in my head. I'm looking at Stockton, how many years he's playing, Drexler, how many years he's playing, MJ, how many years more he's playing, Hakeem. And these are players that I studied growing up. And the best way to learn from them is to have that jump off of the film, jump off of the page, and see it face to face. That's the best way to learn, because it was like a database. I had everything in my mind of what they could do, what they didn't like to do, where they did it, when they did it. Now, if I could see that up close, that is the greatest form of education that I could possibly receive. So that's when I was like, nah, I'm going to go pro, because I've already done it. See, here's the thing. When I was playing, and teammates would say, "Oh, Kobe's not out on the road. What is he doing?"
What is it about investment and entrepreneurship that sort of has bitten you?
I never look at it as investments, believe it or not. I just look at it as partnerships, help changing the world, and just being part of something that's inspiring. My business people all the time, whenever they talk about money, you can ask them, I don't want to hear it. But if they bring an idea to me that I think is going to go to the next level, most of the time, if I follow my heart, and everything else will fall in place. I've never, ever done a deal. Hey, we got this suit company. We throw some pinstripes in the suit. You give me 100,000. We sell 20 of them. I've never did a deal where it was always based on money. I've always did my business deals based on how I felt it was going to go in the future, how I felt it was going to help and inspire somebody.
Investments not going to always go how you want them to go. Business plans not going to go how you want them to go. So you just have to regroup. You can never...
You say regroup, what does that mean? What does that look like?
My theory and my thought process is to never focus on the problem, focus on the solution. I invested in this water company, it didn't go well, that money's gone. Now I got to regroup. Now I got to do something else. So I'll be upset for about 20 minutes, go to that cabinet, get them frosted flakes, get some of that cold milk, slice them bananas up, watch some ESPN, and then the next day I'm back on track.
Y'all got that? That's pretty good. But the key thing he said, focus on the solution, not on the problem, because where your energy goes, that's where your focus and concentration goes.
I think as a competitor, if you're trying to do something meaningful, if you don't have the mindset that you're the best ever, you failed already. So if you don't have the mindset that you are the best reporter ever, then you already failed. And that's been my mindset since I can remember. That will be my mindset as long as I can remember anything, that I am the best ever at what I do. And every day that I step on the basketball floor, I will strive to be that. But my mindset will always be as such as I am the best to do what I do. And that'll give me a shot at being the best. But before you can ever reach anything, you have to believe it. You don't just mistakenly become great at something. You probably at one time or another, believe that you can be great at that. And then you work to get great at that, and you reach that greatness. But you don't mistakenly become great. And then you start to believe, oh man, I'm great at that. No, you believed that before and you work to get that. So I always believe that. And I'll work every day to reach that.
What have the last 2 years taught you, changed you to get from there to here?
Man, just always trusting yourself. That's what I learned. And, once things go bad, there's only so many people that's going to be on your side. And, that's it. Just really trusting yourself and just keep working out, have faith, and, good things happen to good people.
A lot of our games this year came down to this last stretch. Fortunately, I didn't able to help us every time, but with me, it's just my mindset, just being able to still take the last shot or, take the shots that are big down the stretch. It doesn't bother me if I miss or make it, so I'll just keep going, and, I think the next one always going to go in.
What did you know and learn at the end of your career that you wish you knew at the beginning?
Understanding empathy and compassion. Because as a young kid, when I came in the league, it was like, I'm driving this way, and either you're going to be on the train or be on the track. Right? There was no such thing as understanding that people have lives outside of the game, which apparently I did not. But if I understood that at an early age, it helps me as a leader to communicate better. I came to understand that later, and getting to know people on a personal level. What are their fears? What are their insecurities? Right? What are their dreams and ambitions, desires, those sorts of things? When you come to understand that about a person, then you can help them reach the best version of themselves. So I wish I'd known that earlier.
There's 200 people or 150 people that start the class. There's 100 helmets of people that quit. Grown men whose dream it was to be a SEAL that get there that did all this physical training and all this preparation and signed that dotted line and committed to 6 years, and they show up there and they get to that training and they ring that bell. No one knows who's going to make it through that program. The only way to know what's in the core of a human being is to rip that thing apart and see what's in there. And until you rip it apart and see what's in there, you don't know.
What does it take to not ring the bell?
Don't quit. People always ask me, what should I concentrate on? What's your advice for me going to Buds? And don't quit. Don't quit. Like, train hard, don't quit. Well, if you want to be a good leader, you have to understand human nature. And the places where human nature reveals itself most clearly are times of extreme suffering and inhumanity. I had a bunch of hard-headed, very determined, thick-skulled guys that, you know, I had to get them to do what I wanted them to do. I had to get them to want to do. Trust is built on relationships. Relationships are built on trust. If you don't trust me, we don't really have a relationship. My first platoon, we were doing a training operation. We get into this tactical situation. Everyone in my platoon is focused on one area. Everyone's looking down their weapons, waiting for a threat to expose itself, which means you got 16 guys looking down their weapons, and I'm waiting for someone to make a call. I was a new guy. I'm waiting for someone above me in the chain of command to say, hey, move here, or hey, move forward, or make some kind of a decision. And as I'm waiting, no one's doing it. So I'm a new guy. I'm scared to say anything, and I know I shouldn't say anything, so I'm just waiting, and no one's giving an order. No one's giving any direction. So I wait longer. And this goes on for probably 30 seconds or a minute, which is a really long time when you're trying to take down a target. And finally, I said to myself, all right, I'm going to see what's going on. So I actually point my weapon at the ceiling, and I take a step back, and I just look around. And I see that every single person in my platoon, including my platoon commander, including the assistant platoon commander, including the platoon leading petty officer, everyone is just focused on their weapons, and no one's making a decision. And I can see this. And because I'm looking around, and I'm detached from the scenario, just by 8 inches, I stepped back and looked around. I can see what decision needs to be made. And so I summoned up as much courage as I could as a new guy, because new guys don't make decisions. And I said, hold left, clear right, which is a basic command that we had rehearsed and you would practice. And I expected someone to say, shut up, Jocko. But instead they repeated the command. They all said, hold left, clear right, which means we were going to execute it. And sure enough, the guys on the left held and the guys on the right cleared, and we got done. And instead of someone saying, hey, you need to keep your mouth shut, like one of the more senior guys said, hey, good job up there. Way to make a call. So I looked at it and I said, wait a second. How could I have, as a new guy, have made a decision in that situation that was better than what the more senior, more experienced guys were making? And I realized it was because I took a step back and detached from it. So at that moment, I said to myself, okay, from now on, when I get into these tactical scenarios, I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to try and look around and I'm going to try and detach myself from the chaos and the mayhem. And I started doing it all the time. In every tactical situation, in the land warfare, in the mountains, in the urban environments, I was doing it all the time. And I was able to see what was happening. It was like a superpower to be able to see what was happening and make decisions. And so then I actually started doing it when I was having conversations. And if you and I were in a disagreement and you started getting emotional, instead of me getting emotional back at you, I would just take a step back and be like, oh, okay, he's really concerned about this. Why is he so concerned? What does he see that I don't see? And I started actually just detaching all the time. And that became a very powerful tool in leadership that I use to this day. My second platoon, our platoon commander, the guy actually in charge of the whole platoon, he's not very experienced. He didn't listen. He didn't take advice. He didn't take guidance. Everything was like his way or the highway. And we had a mutiny inside of our platoon. We went to our commanding officer and said, hey, sir, we don't want to work for our platoon commander. He doesn't listen. He's arrogant. And eventually what ended up happening was this guy got fired as our platoon commander. And that left an impact on me, because as I'm watching this going, I'm thinking to myself, why don't we like this guy? Why doesn't anyone want to listen to this guy? Why don't we want to follow this guy? And the reason, because he was arrogant and he didn't listen and he didn't give us any ownership of everything. Everything was about him. And that would have made an impression on me. That would have left a mark. But the mark got left even more clearly, because when that guy got fired, the guy that came in and took over for him was like I hate to use the word legendary, but he was a pretty legendary SEAL, had a ton of experience. He'd come up through the ranks, and he had been stationed at every different kind of SEAL team. And he took over as our platoon commander. And I kind of thought to myself, well, he's going to take over because we're a bunch of mutineers, and they need to put someone really strong that's going to, like, whip us back into shape. So I was anticipating that we were going to have this super hardcore guy. And this guy shows up, and he's got a nice smile on his face, and he's super humble. And I remember one of the first things he said to us was like, I look forward to working with you guys. And I was, that word right there, I'm gonna work with you guys. Not I'm in charge, I'm glad I'm taking over, I'm glad to be your commander. It was nothing like that. He said, hey, I'm looking forward to working with you guys. So all of a sudden, it was totally different. And he started putting us in charge of things. Instead of him coming up with a plan, he would say, hey, you guys come up with a plan and let me know how you want to do it. And all of a sudden, we had all this ownership, and that made me reflect on the way the first guy had acted compared to the way this guy had acted. And I realized how important it was to be a humble leader and to listen to other people and to give ownership to other people. In the 3rd platoon, it was a good solid platoon, and we had a good platoon commander, and we were out in the desert doing some training, and some targets popped up. We start engaging the targets like we're supposed to, and everyone gets in the prone position and is returning fire. And I did what I had been doing this whole time, which was detach. I kind of took a step back, shot a couple rounds, then kind of pulled back and looked to see what was going on. And I saw the call that needed to be made. And I gave the platoon commander a couple seconds to make a call, and he didn't make it. So, I made the call, peel left. And everyone said, okay, peel left. And we peeled left, and we left the scenario, and we got our distance, and then we stopped the training exercise, and we did a little debrief. And during the debrief, the platoon commander, he said to me, well, why did you make that call? And I said, well, I could see what we needed to do, and you hadn't made a call, so I made the call. And he goes, well, I actually didn't want to peel left. I wanted to assault the target. And right there in that split second, I kind of thought to myself, well, like part of my ego flared up, and I was kind of thinking I could have said something along the lines of, well, you need to make a call faster. If you're not going to step up and lead, then I'm going to do it. Like I could have said that. But I realized at that moment in time, wait a second, I didn't need to make a call. The problem could have developed more. But for some reason, I thought that I needed to be the guy. And I said, no, you know what? You don't need to be the guy. You're a leader. You need to support your leader. And it's not about you. And what you have to do is subordinate your ego and be supportive of the person that's in charge, and you move forward together as a team. Because that's what it's about. It's not about me, it's about the team. There's a word that people bring up a lot, and I think they're pretty interchangeable, and it's relationships and trust, right? Trust is built on relationships. Relationships are built on trust. If you don't trust me, we don't really have a relationship. If you want to be a good leader, you have to understand human nature. And the places where human nature reveals itself most clearly are times of extreme sorrow, pain, suffering, and inhumanity. And if we don't recognize what causes that, where that comes from, and that it's actually possible, then it's bound to happen again.
I went 5 straight years without missing a single day of workout, 365 days a year. Every single day I was in the water. There are days you're not going to want to do it. I mean, everybody has those days. But it's what you do on those days that help you move forward.
Winning is in all of us. Everybody wants the end result, but what you have to endure to win, no one wants to talk about.
If you know that you were destined for something, then you can withstand the setbacks, the difficulties, the criticism, and all the other things.
Everybody can compete when they're feeling good, happy, excited, but it's the best people who can overcome when they're tired and sore. Mental power that the greatest athletes have can push all the pain aside.
The first time I had met Stephen Curry back in 2007, and it was after his freshman year at Davidson, which was before he blew up. No one knew who Stephen Curry was after his freshman year. But I remember there was a few things really remarkable about him. But the most impressive thing was at the end of the first workout, he came over to me and Steph said, will you rebound for me? Because I don't leave the gym until I swish 5 free throws in a row. I mean, he was conditioning himself to be in that state. He was conditioning himself to do that, to not accept anything less. And, you know, one of the reasons I think he'll go down in history as the best shooter we've ever seen is his ability just to move on to the next shot.
But at the root of it is you want to be the best. You love competing and you want to dominate.
The greatest athletes in the world don't make excuses.
I wanted to do something that nobody had ever done before. And that started with a dream and a goal. I wanted to be the greatest of all time.
And I think I always felt like I wanted to be good at everything I did and be great at what I did. And I never expected to be as good as I was.
No matter what you do in life, where you're at, this is what winning takes. And it's in all of us. We all have fear, but if you harness it, it takes you to places that you couldn't even imagine.
There's mistakes. There's regrets. There's sadness. There's joy. There's frustration. There's sorrow. There's heartbreak. There's elation. It's all part of it. It's all part of life.
You know, I said to myself, I'm going to do this and no one's going to stop me. And I think that's the biggest thing.
In order to win, you have to be seen. Winning is everything. It's everything.
People are champions when they really see themselves with no limits, when they really see themselves great. Because when you see yourself there, you are much more willing to do the work. You are much more willing to break barriers that others don't break because they don't really see themselves breaking those barriers. And this young guy, Djokovic, is 19 years old and he plays Roger for the first time in a Grand Slam. He's nobody. When Novak Djokovic started, Rafa and Roger were winning everything. It's impossible to win a Grand Slam with those two guys. You can't beat them. They're just way better than everyone. And he's interviewed before the match and he says, I'm going to beat this guy. And I remember the press went really bad against him. Who does he think he is? But he was seeing him there. He was seeing himself there. He was seeing himself better than them, which maybe people saw that as being cocky, but he was just very confident about his abilities. And he ended up being the best of the three. He beat all the records. He beat them on every level because his self-belief was extremely high. His self-esteem, the way he was seeing himself. That's how I know if someone is a champion. And then a lot of people fake it, which is better than not faking it, but it's not as good as really believing it deeply inside. You talk to the young players, they will say, I want to be number one. I mean, they wish. Yeah. The ones who really want to, you know, because they're not only saying it, but they're putting on the work. And this is a big difference because when you really believe you can get there, it's much easier. It's never easy to work hard, but in a way, you are willing to do everything to get there. When you wish it, you do things halfway or you don't do it fully. So that's a big difference.
But when you look at the road to winning, people look at you and they're like, you're a success. But your road has so many more steps. Those steps are infinite. Sometimes you get to see them, sometimes you don't. Sometimes they're there, other times they're wobbly. You don't know if that next step is going to be there, but you have enough belief in yourself to say, I know it's there. I'm going to take that step. I may miss the step. I may fall. I may get scraped. That step may go into quicksand, but I know there's another step. I know it. I believe inside me that there's another step that I have to take, that somebody else isn't making me take. Those steps are infinite. Winning is infinite. Those steps are infinite.
Of course, if your self-esteem is big, like huge champions, I mean, legends like Serena or Venus, and I had this discussion with Richard Williams, their father, and he told me my main focus was to create two young ladies that were believing in themselves in general. And he said to me this, and I believe it, whatever they would have done, they would have been successful. We chose tennis, but if they would have wanted to be runners or singers or whatever, they would have succeeded because they had this incredible self-esteem that they have. And you'll see that whatever they're going to do after tennis, they're going to be successful.
I think from the get-go, I believed I could do it. You know, it just seemed so real to me. I'd already gotten sponsors. I was already winning competitions, and I saw the pros making a great living at what they were doing. And I just figured, like, God, if I could just get to that point, I think I could make a bit of a living out of this.
Why would you do crazy efforts, working crazy hard to achieve something you don't really believe in? Why would you put yourself at risk to fail if you don't deeply believe that at the end you're going to make it? I'm not saying that people never fail. Of course they fail, and Serena failed many times in tennis too. But we remember what she achieved, which is much bigger.
The great Serena Williams.
I just never think I'm gonna lose. I just don't want people to think I'm too cocky or anything. And you're only as good as your last win. So I hate losing. That's no secret. So, but you gotta lose. I feel like every time I lose, I get better. And I think it's important for me to have losses. Just the fewer, the better for me.
I think a lot of people they see you run and they say, "Oh, it looks so easy. You really look effortless." But before it gets to that point, it's hard. It's like hard work. Day in, day out, sacrifice, day in, day out.
The confidence comes from preparation. So when the game's on the line, I'm not asking myself to do something that I haven't done thousands of times before. When I prepare, I know what I'm capable of doing, I know what I'm comfortable doing, and I know what I'm not comfortable doing. And so in those moments, if it looks like I'm ice cold or not nervous, it's because I've done it thousands of times before. So what's one more time?
No, I've never been afraid. Obviously you're nervous, but afraid means you're not confident in your skills. I have total confidence in my skills, so I'm not afraid. If you put your mind to doing whatever you want to do, good things can happen. That shot gave me the idea that I could be better than what people think, and I can, surpass any expectations that I may have for myself.
The start is just every day do something you didn't do the day before.
If you just pay attention to the details, those distinctions are easy to see. Everybody talks about working hard, showing up early, showing up late, doing all. Everybody can do that. Everybody can do that. It's the mannerisms of the way they carry themselves. It's the way they compete. It's the way they listen. It's the way they absorb information, how coachable they are. The one thing all my athletes in business, in sports, the best of the best are so coachable. They listen. They absorb the information. They pay attention. They're there.
Of course you want to win, but winning is not a goal. Winning is a result. The goal is, what do I focus on? I focus only on things that I can control. Winning, you cannot control everything, but there are a lot of things you can control. A lot of things happen. A lot of emotions come in. A lot of thoughts come in. You have to take them away, and the only way to take them away is to talk to yourself in a way that makes you better. But you also have to make efforts every day, and you do, to have those small victories and build yourself as a person that is able to achieve his dreams.
By no means have I never made a mistake. I've made lots of mistakes, both in and out of the pool. And, I've been able to learn from every one of those mistakes. And I've been able to, help people not make the same mistakes that I've made.
So keep going. You're doing the right thing.
Do you want to do this or not? Do you actually want to do this or not? Do you actually want to do this or not? Because if you actually want to do it, what's going to stop you? Nothing. And if you don't really want to do it, what's going to stop you? Just about anything that comes up. Just about any obstacle that gets in your way becomes an excuse. It becomes a reason. It becomes a rationale for not proceeding down that path.
Done if you wasn't trying to impress nobody, if you was just being you. I'm thinking, like, how many mistakes have we made trying to be what they want us to be? What if we could just be who we were? Like, what would we be doing if we weren't worried about them? So I'm challenging you. When you walk out of this room, I'm challenging you to do you. I'm challenging you to do you.
It's not about being perfect. It's about just every day, one step at a time, trying to be better, trying to do more. And I think a lot of people are struggling to find that purpose, but it's okay. You will find it. Do not give up. Keep getting up, just keep saying those things to yourself and you will eventually find it.
It's never going to be given to you. Everything's going to be earned. If you don't go out there and put in the work, you don't go out and put in the effort, one, you're not going to get the results. But two, more importantly, you don't deserve it. You didn't earn it.
If you love something, if you have a strong passion for something, you would go to the extreme to try to understand or try to get it. I hate losing, but I have to respect losing because losing is a part of winning. And you never just, win. You got to lose to win. How can I do things different? How can I change? But you got to look at yourself in the mirror because that's how things get started. And you got to be willing to change.
Dedication, hard work, dedication, hard work. One-man army. The world can go against me. I'm still come on top. I got God on my side.
There's a quote that says, when you know yourself and you know your opponent, there's no need to fear the results of over 100 battles, which means not being naive and saying, oh, I'm better here and I'm better here. You got to know where you suck. Yeah. And you got to know where you're good. Yeah. And I know where Rampage is really good. And I also know where he really sucks. So, I think he's trying to bait me to get in this big kickboxing match with him or boxing match with him. And I'm going to really go out there and just give a solid mixed martial arts sport.
Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. At least you're being yourself. We all do mistakes. We learn from the mistakes, but we will still do mistakes. Being perfect, what is being perfect? You build up something that doesn't exist. For me, perfection is being yourself. And I am being myself. People like it or not, I don't care as long as I'm being myself.
My view is you can't control the outcome all the time. Sometimes it should go the other people's way. It shouldn't always go your way. So you get motivated by the losses. You stay motivated through the winning. What you can control is your process. You can control those intangibles. You can control the work ethic, the consistent discipline, your attitude, your culture, how much you care. All those things are in you. They just need to be drawn out of you.
We live by this and we die by this. We don't retreat. We don't run. Every man must search his own soul. That's why that Martin Luther King quote, that's why I say you don't judge a person by where they stand in times of comfort and convenience. You judge them by where they stand in times of challenge and controversy. And if you ain't work, when you work for something, it gives you a different type of attachment to it. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. That's why cats can give up so easy. They ain't got nothing invested. They ain't worked for it. They ain't sacrificed for it. Every time it get tough, they go blow weed. They ain't working for it, right? They ain't got nothing sacrificed into it. But when a cat worked for something, when a cat been sacrificed for something, you gonna have a cold day in hell before you take it from them. Because they value it different.
Go back to the gym, work, because you have more to show. You understand? Life continue. You cannot live in the past. I'm really good on that. You understand? I learned by the years that, listen, Cristiano, let's go. Because pain, you're gonna have all the time, uncertainty, and constant work. Doesn't matter what's happening. It's gonna happen in your life. You have to continue. This is the way I see the life, and football special.
Be the guy who embraces the ugly, the miserable. Be the guy who embraces hard work, the grind. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Don't be afraid of sacrificing some blood. John, you should want this fight to be miserable. You should want this to hurt. Be the guy who thrives in that. And I felt like I was that guy tonight.
Nothing is easy. Running is running. It sucks. But you have a choice to make. Do you want to sit down and go back to that guy you once were? No. So this is what it takes. The barbaric life that I live, that you have to live, the almost obsession that you must have to be great, you can't put that shit in a fucking book, bro. You can't put it in a book. You can't write about it. Every second of the day, he is trying to extract more from something. He's constantly thinking, he's constantly disciplined, never going off the path. It's a conqueror's mindset. I'm almost 50, and I've been this way for almost 30 years.
Stop being driven by outcomes. Stop being driven by, if I get this, I'm gonna do this. Just work. And if you don't get what you thought you were gonna get, show up and still go to work. Because along the process, what's more important, what you acquire or who you become? And a lot of people think what they acquire is the thing that makes them who they are. No, it's who you become in the process of chasing what you want to acquire.
Hard work pays. I put in a hell of a lot of work all throughout this build-up in the fight. I pumped out more content than anybody, more content than Fox, more content than ESPN, more content than BT Sport, more content than everybody on the Mag Live on my own channels. You know what I mean? I'm a fucking workhorse from all angles, not just in the gym, but I'm building this media empire now myself, and we pumped out the content, and I'm very proud of how it went. We consistently, daily movies I was releasing, you know, from like a month ago, every single day, you know what I mean? Nobody's doing that. So I'm very proud of it, and I'm very, like, the work pays, hard work pays, and I put in the fucking work, and that's why I'm sitting at the top. I put it all on the line, I show up, I perform, and I get the results from that. So
your brain's amazing. Once you feed it the right conversation, the right mental nutrients, the right mental supplements, the right internal dialogue at the right time, with the right hit, with the right proof of what you've done in the past, and you send that right to the right circuit, dude, you're a fucking beast. A beast.
Never repeat your failures. Work with people that are smarter than you. Listen and mentally know you're the best. If you mentally know you're the best, no one can compete with you.
I have the ability to see the end before the beginning even begins. And what that means is I know that to get to the very end, I can see it right now. So before I went to Buds and I was losing all this weight and I saw myself walking across the stage at 191 pounds, because that's what I had to get to get into the door. I saw myself 6 months, a year later, whatever's gonna take me to do it, I saw myself walking across that stage, getting that certificate of graduation from Buds. And I was able to be there at 300 pounds. And that feeling, that I was nowhere near that feeling, I was able to put myself there 1,000,000 times every day. And that feeling of like, my God, that is gonna feel amazing. That's what made me suffer. That's what allowed the pain to be real and say, this is worth it. I want to feel for this next 18 months. It took me 18 months to finally become a Navy SEAL, to finally, just get through Buds. 18 months, it's 6 months. It took me 18. That's what woke me up every morning was, I'm gonna put myself through this much pain and suffering for a few seconds. That's all it is. A few seconds of joy. It's so worth it, man. That's what people don't get. So I'm able to put myself at the finish line, even though I have no finish line, but at the finish line of an event before I even start them, and say, how are you gonna feel at the end of this? Visualizing is my biggest tool of life. That's why I've been able to put myself in cold water, put myself in a 100-mile race millions of times before I've done it. And I'm able to go through the race and see how I'm gonna feel at mile 50. Almost to the exact feeling.
As an athlete like you, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, Diego Maradona, what do you have that at the end of the day you become bigger than the sport itself?
I don't think we're necessarily bigger than the sport. I just think that we've had so much success in the sport. And I think it's in the way we've done it, whether it's through just pure dominance, or maybe someone may have a more flashy personality as well as dominating. Some people they may do it differently than anyone's ever seen it done before in the past. And I think that's where I think people kind of gravitate towards. What Messi and Ronaldo are doing now in soccer is just phenomenal, but two different ways of doing it, right? And then you have Jordan coming into the league. He did it completely different than anybody else. And then when I came into golf, I done it differently because no one had ever trained. No one ever lifted weights. No one ever ran miles. No one ever did just wind sprints. No one ever did any of those things in golf, so I did it differently. And I had the success doing it differently. And I think that's what people sometimes see and have gravitated towards.
Right, so when it comes up, it's no surprise.
It's no surprise. I've already done this 1,000,000 times.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to excel my game and isolate my game from everybody else. That I was more than just, a few dimensional. Even when it came to Magic Johnson, Magic Johnson was a crowd pleaser. He was a good offensive player. He was a great motivator. Average defensive player. I wanted to change that. I wanted to take it another step. I wanted to do all those things, that could separate me from Magic Johnson. I'm not saying he wasn't great. He still is great. But we're great in our own different way, and that was motivational for me, and to this day, it's still is. I never feel that I'm at my best. I feel I still have room to improve. I still set goals for myself to strive for. I'm never complacent with what I've achieved. Even though it's been very successful for me, I still feel I have a lot to prove, not just as a player, but as a person, as a father, to some extent, as a role model in all aspects. So I'm never really too complacent with myself or with what I've achieved. When I get to a point where I feel I can improve as a player, I walk away from the game. I still feel that I have a plateau that I hadn't reached yet in terms of my skills or my expectations of myself. I'm always going to expect myself to do certain things or surpass certain things. As long as I believe that, then my road to success can continue to expand.
I don't want to do anything unless I'm passionate about it. I don't care any money. That's what I learned about peace and happiness. That if you're not doing it with passion and love, and you're just doing it for money, it's the emotional outcome is going to be disastrous. And that's from my experience. That's just really what I know. So I know it has to be just for pure passion and the love for what I'm doing.
What do you feel separates good athletes from the best athletes?
I think it comes back to what I was saying earlier about, I think a lot of it is mental. If you want to do something and you want it that bad, you'll make sacrifices. And growing up for me as a kid, I made a lot of sacrifices that I didn't seem that they were a big deal, and I don't think of them as being a big deal right now. There were Saturdays or Fridays where I'd give up going to a dance or hanging out with my friends because I had work out the next day. But those things that I gave up, were things that I wanted to help me get to my goal. And there were times where I've been put in.
I know what I can do, so. We talk about hard work all the time. It's like, man, if you got to get up every single morning and remind yourself how hard
to live like a kid. Like, why do kids have so much fun? Because they just care about what they're doing. Yeah. And if we thought about what we were doing all the time, you do that when you're on the football field. It's probably the only place that I can really do that, when I really, truly am my authentic self. A lot of people see it, my close friends do. But when I'm on the football field, it's just raw.
You stare at your past and you'll end up staying there. It's okay to look back and admire it, but you carry on. I'm not in the business of staring back at it. You know what I mean? And getting lost back there. People say a loss can make or break a fighter, but trust me, a win can also make or break a fighter, because they get comfortable with a win. People can get comfortable with a win, and slack off then. Slack off on the training, slack off on the diet. They've won one. They're winners now. That's not me, You sleep on a win and you'll wake up with a loss. So I just carry on. Keep doing what I'm doing. And that's why this turnaround is so good for me. Vegas, straight away. The Fighting Irish head to the fighting capital. It's perfect. Continue on this path, the freight train straight to the top.
Lazy people do a little work and think they should be winning, but winners work as hard as possible and still worry if you're being lazy. So if you're a winner, you ain't comfortable.
What separates the best ones with the other ones, with the average ones, it's the consistency. All the time I put it on my mind that you always can improve something. This is what I did. It's not by coincidence that the last 12, 30, 14 years I'm always in the top of the game. So take a lot of consistency, hard work, be professional, and this is why I'm still there.
Michael Jordan, I remember I interviewed him years ago, and I said, what makes you the best in the world? Is it skill? Is it talent? Is it ability? Is it background? Is it training? And he was so awesome. He said, Tony, I can tell you the truth, and it won't sound like hyperbole or false modesty. He said, I didn't even make the high school basketball team my sophomore year. I was cut. He said, what it is every day I demand more from myself than anybody else could possibly expect. I don't compete with other people. I compete with what I'm capable of.
I went 5 straight years without missing a single day of workout, 365 days a year. Every single day I was in the water. There are days you're not going to want to do it. Everybody has those days. But it's what you do on those days that help you move forward.
Winning is in all of us. Everybody wants the end result, but what you have to endure to win, no one wants to talk about.
If you know
that you were destined for something, and then you can withstand the setbacks, the difficulties, the bullshit, criticism, and all the other things.
You know, everybody can compete when they're feeling good, happy, excited, but it's the best people who can overcome when they're tired, sore. Mental power that the greatest athletes have can push all the pain aside.
The first time I met Stephen Curry back in 2007, it was after his freshman year at Davidson, which was before he blew up. No one knew who Stephen Curry was after his freshman year. But I remember there was a few things really remarkable about him. But the most impressive thing was at the end of the first workout, he came over to me and Steph said, "Will you rebound for me? Because I don't leave the gym until I swish 5 free throws in a row." I mean, he was conditioning himself to be in that state. He was conditioning himself to do that, to not accept anything less. And, you know, one of the reasons I think he'll go down in history as the best shooter we've ever seen is his ability just to move on to the next shot.
But at the root of it is you want to be the best. You love competing and you want to dominate.
The greatest athletes in the world don't make excuses.
I wanted to do something that nobody had ever done before. And that started with a dream and a goal. I wanted to be the greatest of all time.
And I think I always felt like I wanted to be good at everything I did and be great at what I did. And I never expected to be as good as I was.
No matter what you do in life, where you're at, this is what winning takes. And it's in all of us. We all have fear. But if you harness it, it takes you to places that you couldn't even imagine.
There's mistakes. There's regrets. There's sadness. There's joy. There's frustration. There's sorrow. There's heartbreak. There's elation. It's all part of it. It's all part of life.
You know, I said to myself, I'm going to do this and no one's going to stop me. But I think that's the biggest thing.
In order to win, you have to be seen. Winning is everything. It's everything.
People are champions when they really see themselves with no limits, when they really see themselves great. Because when you see yourself there, you are much more willing to do the work. You are much more willing to break barriers that others don't break because they don't really see themselves breaking those barriers. And this young guy, Djokovic, is 19 years old and he plays Roger for the first time in a Grand Slam. He's nobody. When Novak Djokovic started, Rafa and Roger were winning everything. It's impossible to win a Grand Slam with those two guys. You can't beat them. They're just way better than everyone. And he's interviewed before the match and he says, I'm going to beat this guy. And I remember the press went really bad against him. Who does he think he is? But he was seeing him there. He was seeing himself there. He was seeing himself better than them, which maybe people saw that as being cocky, but he was just very confident about his abilities. And he ended up being the best of the three. He beat all the records. He beat them on every level because his self-belief was extremely high. His self-esteem, the way he was seeing himself. That's how I know if someone is a champion. And a lot of people fake it, which is better than not faking it, but it's not as good as really believing it deeply inside. You talk to the young players, they will say, I want to be number one. I mean, they wish. Yeah. The ones who really want to, you know, because they're not only saying it, but they're putting on the work. And this is a big difference because when you really believe you can get there, it's much easier. It's never easy to work hard, but in a way, you are willing to do everything to get there. When you wish it, you do things halfway or you don't do it fully. So that's a big difference.
But when you look at the road to winning, people look at you and they're like, you're a success. But your road has so many more steps. Those steps are infinite. Sometimes you get to see them, sometimes you don't. Sometimes they're there, other times they're wobbly. You don't know if that next step is going to be there, but you have enough belief in yourself to say, I know it's there. I'm going to take that step. I may miss the step. I may fall. I may get scraped. That step may go into quicksand, but I know there's another step. I know it. I believe inside me that there's another step that I have to take, that somebody else isn't making me take. Those steps are infinite. Winning is infinite. Those steps are infinite.
Of course, if your self-esteem is big, like huge champions, legends like Serena or Venus. And I had this discussion with Richard Williams, their father, and he told me my main focus was to create two young ladies that were believing in themselves in general. And he said to me this, and I believe it, whatever they would have done, they would have been successful. We chose tennis, but if they would have wanted to be runners or singers or whatever, they would have succeeded because they had this incredible self-esteem that they have. And you'll see that whatever they're going to do after tennis, they're going to be successful.
I think from the get-go, I believed I could do it. You know, it just seemed so real to me. I'd already gotten sponsors. I was already winning competitions, and I saw the pros, you know, making a great living at what they were doing. And I just figured, like, God, if I could just get to that point, you know, I think I could make a bit of a living out of this.
Why would you do crazy efforts, working crazy hard to achieve something you don't really believe in? Why would you put yourself at risk to fail if you don't deeply believe that at the end you're going to make it? Not saying that people never fail. Of course they fail, and Serena failed many times in tennis too. But we remember what she achieved, which is much bigger.
The great Serena Williams.
I mean, I just never think I'm gonna lose. I just don't want people to think I'm too cocky or anything, and you're only as good as your last win, so I hate losing. I mean, that's no secret, so. But you gotta lose. I feel like every time I lose, I get better, and I think it's important for me to have losses. Just the fewer, the better for me.
I think a lot of people they see you run and they say, oh, it looks so easy, you really look effortless. But before it gets to that point, it's hard. It's like hard work. Day in, day out, sacrifice, day in, day out.
The confidence comes from preparation. You know, so when the game's on the line, I'm not asking myself to do something that I haven't done thousands of times before. When I'm prepared, I know what I'm capable of doing, I know what I'm comfortable doing, and I know what I'm not comfortable doing. You know, and so in those moments, if it looks like I'm ice cold or not nervous, it's because I've done it thousands of times before, and so it's one more time.
No, I've never been afraid. I mean, obviously you
can't, because you have other things, you have other responsibilities that are taking you away from it. So I already won.
So it's not the car, the house, the whatever. It is that internal goal, that internal why. And so for me, I just think that's it. Like that, like you, it's just, it's something within it. You gotta pull it out. And so it's easy when you have a why, a purpose. I'm doing it for this, I'm doing it for that. It's easy to get up and get going. But if it's just for a car, what happens, Louis, when you get the car? Because you can buy it. What happens when you get the house and you can buy the house?
Because I think any person, any human realizes that if you want some kind of a good outcome, you're going to have to work hard for it.
My outcomes have been.
Embrace the process. You say, Dwayne, what process? Life. Life. Embrace the journey and the process of life. You only get stronger hiking by going uphill. Nobody gets stronger hiking by just going downhill.
Because you're probably in the bed right now. You're probably an underachiever. You're probably somebody who doesn't want to do anything with your life.
People should stop complaining.
Right.
People should figure out who the they are.
Good call.
People should not listen to America propaganda of fixing the shit they suck at. They should be tripling down on what they're good at. They should be competent in certain areas, but you're not gonna become Beyonce, or, you know, like your bone structure is a certain way. Like, you're not going to solve everything. Your IQ can get a little bit better, but don't worry about the incremental. Figure out what puts you on fire and you're halfway decent at. If you're lucky enough right now to be listening and you're good at what you like, become tunnel vision, because there's way too many voices telling you what and how. The reason most people who are listening right now are not doing that thing is they're worried about the opinion of somebody. And the reality is we have to get to a place where you're doing you, because the number one thing that scares the fuck out of me is regret.
The Lonely Chapter describes a time in which you're growing, you're changing as a person, and you're now so different that you can no longer resonate with your old set of friends, but you're not sufficiently developed that you've got the new set of friends that you're going to grow into. And this is the lonely chapter. And the problem with it is that you're always, the desire to sort of regress back to where you were is always going to be there, and you're going to have uncertainty. There's not even the promise of glory or success or triumph when you get through the other side. What am I pushing toward? You know, you're telling me that I'm not going to go out on this night out with my friends, which I've done for the last 5 years or 10 years in the town that I grew up in or went to university in or whatever. You're telling me that I'm not going to do that because I'm going to get up and I'm going to meditate or read. Who even knows if meditation works, right? Like, you've got all of these questions in your mind, and all of your friends and all of the dynamics and the temptations pull you back toward that. It pulls you back toward the old version of life.
Just lock on me for 6 months, bro. Please. I really want you to be great. You got me, I got you. We all we got. See what happens. It's so easy to quit, bro. That's what everyone's doing. And we're not trying to be like everybody else. Can't progress in life without progressing. Don't let it go over your head. You can't progress in the grand scheme of life if you don't progress in your everyday life. If you don't try to take a step to be better, your overall life won't be better. If you put your head down and lock in on the vision, how could you not win? Only thing that's gonna cause you to lose is your mentality.
Why I hate being around negative people. Being an asshole is a weak person's idea of strength. Complaining is their connection. Never let yourself be held back by other people's fears. People criticize what they're afraid to do themselves because bold action reminds them of their own inaction. If you're afraid to be criticized, why do you care about the opinions of those who are too timid to do it themselves? If you are the criticizer, does tearing down someone who has the courage you lack make you better?
You have a whole life in front of you. You have years to take part in this life and to do stuff, to accomplish stuff, and to enjoy stuff. I think about that. If I was 22 again, and if God said, hey, Tom, I'll make you 22 again, okay? Just do something different. Wow. Oh my God. I'd be like a professional golfer this time, even though I can't. I'm lousy at golf. I stink at golf. I would do something that I think in my brain I could never do, which was bodybuilding at one time. I thought I could never do this. It's too insurmountable, it's too crazy, but something in the back of my mind always said, do it, do it, do it, do it.
Hey, when you get out of bed, life's standing right there to kick you in the face, man. Could be anything. Could be you get up and you walk downstairs, you got a flat tire and you're late for work and you got this and that. Life is going to throw all kinds of crazy shit at you, right? And you have to be ready for it, and you got to deal with it. You can't curl up into a ball. You can't run away from it. You can't hide. You have to take all this shit head on.
So this lonely chapter is a period through which I think everybody needs to squeeze. Anybody that decides to go from a place they are to a place that they want to be is going to have to let go of people who can't go there with them. It's that if you know that there is something that you're meant to do, if you know that there's something that you're meant to change, you will have to let certain groups, friends, routines, places, activities, recreations that you do, you're going to have to let those go. And there is this, the Rocky cutscene lasts for 90 seconds in the movie, but it can last for 5 years in your life. And you have no idea whether or not it's even going to work. And that's the bit that always got to me. The bit that always got to me was I didn't even know if there was going to be any glory on the other side. It's like, you think, well, I'm just stood here doing the thing, but I don't know if it's going to come out on the other side. And I can promise you, anybody that has done anything, moved from any place they were to any place that they want to be, has gone through this lonely chapter.
I think you just gotta wake up one day and just say, so what? Like, who cares if you don't believe in me? I believe in myself. You don't put too much work to not have this amount of confidence. And if you don't believe in me, it doesn't change my success story. I'm still gonna win. But I guess one thing I gotta say is, let me know when that hate starts making you money.
You may be right that other people did certain things or you got dealt a bad hand. It also doesn't matter, because the only thing that you can't control is obviously the actions that you take. And the only person who's in control of that is you.
Nobody is going to understand you, bro. And it's like, I really realized nobody ever believed in me. Like, you have to believe in yourself. If nobody else is gonna understand, then you have to make sure that you understand and that you believe in yourself, because that's where it starts.
Control freak is a word people with low standards use to describe people with high standards. You're not a control freak. You just want it done right. the first time. You're not anxious, you care. Do not expect mediocre people to support world-class goals.
If you go visit the darkness that you've been running from, you'll have the opportunity to leave a better person. You'll have a better understanding of yourself. You'll have a better understanding of your purpose. But if you don't take that trip and the darkness comes visits you, it's a guest that will never leave.
You're playing against the Golden State Warriors. Score is 107-109. You guys are close to getting into the playoffs. You know exactly what happens in the game. You go up, you're about to take your shot, and then all of a sudden, boom, Achilles happens.
Trying again, going to work, falls down. Again, he's struggling.
Right after you were injured, you went on Facebook and you posted a lengthy blog. You know what this is?
Oh, yeah.
This is such BS. All the training and sacrifice just flew out the window with one step that I've done millions of times. The frustration is unbearable. The anger is rage. Why the hell did this happen? Makes no damn sense. Now I'm supposed to come back from this and be the same player or better at 35? How in the world am I supposed to do that? I have no clue. Do I have the consistent will to overcome this thing? Maybe I should break out the rocking chair and reminisce on the career that was. Maybe this is how my book ends. Maybe Father Time has defeated me. Then again, maybe not. It's 3:30 a.m. My foot feels like dead weight. My head is spinning from the pain meds, and I'm wide awake. Forgive my venting, but what's the purpose of social media if I won't bring it to you real, no image? Feels good to vent, to let it out. To feel as if this is the worst thing ever. Because after all the venting, the real perspective sets in. There are far greater issues and challenges in the world than a torn Achilles. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Find the silver lining and get to work with the same belief, same drive, and same conviction as ever. One day, the beginning of a new career journey will commence. Today is not that day. If you see me in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear. I've always loved that quote. That's Mamba mentality. We don't quit. We don't cower. We don't run.
It's a hurting, but the Lakers down by 2, and they want him and need him at the free throw line. Got it.
Yeah. How the hell do you tolerate that kind of pain?
I tell this example, and I think this is the best way to explain it. Your kids are upstairs, wife is wherever she may be, it's going down. All right. I'm willing to bet that you're going to forget about your hamstring. You're going to sprint upstairs. You're going to grab your kids. Make sure your wife's good. You're getting out of that house, right? Hamstring be damned. You're not going to feel your hamstring. Right? This is another obstacle. This obstacle cannot define me. It's not going to cripple me. It's not going to be responsible for me stepping away for the game that I love. I'm going to step away on my own terms. And that's when the decision was made that, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Disgust. Disgust. Disgust is a negative emotion, but it can have a very positive, powerful effect. Disgust says, I've had it. What an important day that could be.
Most people will not understand your obsession, your drive, and your determination. Success is a lonely journey. That's just a reality. And most people are not going to understand why you're so driven, why you're so obsessed. And if you
and I definitely don't want to give 100%. And I can cheat. I can kind of half-ass it. I can. But if I don't, and I get through it, when that time is up, and the lady says namaste, and everybody gets up, I'm like, man, I made it. I lost 15 pounds. My yoga mat is drenched to the point where I could literally wring it out and fill a jug up with water. But through that struggle, I will now have a better day, and I better do it again tomorrow.
Why you need to go all in. The main reason you need to go all in is because you have nothing to lose, bro. When you think about it, guys, you're already broke. Okay? And we know that you're not going to save yourself rich. Okay? And we know that if somebody else is all in and you only have half of your foot in to the water and you're not ready to jump, that guy's going to beat you every single time.
If your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be, right? To do that, you have to practice, you have to train.
right? You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 11, right? 12, say 12, train at 12, train for 2 hours, 12 to 2. You have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out, you train, start training again at 6. Train from 6 to 8, right? And now you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions, right? Now imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4, you go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, right? You relax, and now all of a sudden you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4. Right? And so now you do that, and as the years go on, the separation that you have with your competitors and your peers just grows larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. And by year 5 or 6, doesn't matter what kind of work they do in the summer, they're never going to catch up.
But I think that's good advice. Don't be a follower, be a student, right? Take advice, but not orders. Take information, but don't let somebody order your life. Make sure what you do is the product of your own conclusion. Make sure what you do is the product of your own conclusion. Not to do what someone else says. Take what someone else says, process it, think about it, ponder it. If it makes you wonder, if it makes you think, then it's valuable. Then when you go take action, make sure that the action is not what somebody told you to do. Make sure the action is the product of your own conclusion.
The biggest difference between people who win and people who lose is that winners expect to win. Winners are not surprised when they win. Like when I win, I don't overly celebrate because I expected that to be the outcome. Amateurs, when they win, they're surprised and then they over celebrate. And like I said, when they over celebrate, they become ineffective because they're taking their eye off the game for way too long, right? I won the week this week. And then they talk about that 1 week for the next 6 weeks. And the next 6 weeks, the guy who expected to win is still going just as hard. So it's an expectation. That's the difference between winners and losers that I think in terms of not so much their self-talk, but just their attitude.
You're gonna know what it's gonna be like to make it personal. Because I'm gonna make it personal. Because it's always been personal to me.
You identify with this gift. We all got the gift. Because it's something that we've all been blessed with. At some point, if we listen to that little thing that speaks to us inside, some people call it instinct, some people call it a vibe, some people call it an energy, whatever the fuck you call it. Some people call it a voice. Whatever that thing is, bro. If it sparks the thought that changes the whole trajectory to what your life can evolve into because you took a second to listen to that shit, you are identifying with your blessing. You are identifying.
The greatest fear you face is yourself, because we all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have. And it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself, right? So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.
And here's a philosophy that really changed for me everything. Be so busy giving other people recognition, you really don't need it for yourself. I learned to recognize people for small steps of progress. Every little thing I could think of. Figure out rewards for small steps.
And what works is, if you dedicate your time and your focus, like realistically, with a professional, disciplined effort to creativity, you show up every day like a professional, but you show up to be creative. If you just do it on a regular basis, ideas will come to you. Where are these ideas coming from? Well, his concept was to think of it as you're a professional and you're getting these ideas from the muse. And this is what you do. You show up and you do the work, you focus on it, and these ideas will come to you.
And that little voice becomes completely drowned out. And so you don't know who you are anymore. And you're afraid, particularly young people today. I mean, maybe it's always been that way, are so afraid of being different. They're so afraid of being odd. But look at all the powerful people in this world. Look at your Elon Musks. Look at your celebrities in entertainment, in business and politics. They're one of a kind. They have like, I hate that word, but it's like a brand. They're different. They stand out for something that's truly different. You know, even Albert Einstein, there's nobody else like Einstein. There's nobody like Da Vinci. Okay? That's where your power lies. And you'll go, oh, but Robert, those are people that were brilliant, that were talented. I'm not like that. I don't have that. Well, bullshit. You do have that. It's just you're forgetting about it and you don't want to put the effort into it.
And there's no one more narcissistic than someone who's smart. And if you are smart, that's a real temptation. It's a real temptation. It can make you bitter as hell. The most bitter people are the smart people who aren't successful because they feel that their shining light wasn't given due course and that the world should fall at their feet and didn't. The way the world works, you don't get a gift without a corresponding temptation. And intellect is certainly, it has the same characteristic. You can go very spectacularly wrong if you're smart. And it's pride that does that.
When you set a dream and you say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you make a plan, and then plans are good. But if you come to a certain point where there's a tree across the road or the bridge is out, you can't.
There is dedication and hard work, you know, to be able to work 100% all the time. This is, if it exists words, this is my secret.
He's a legend. He's one of these big names that stays forever in football history. But the guy he motivates himself with numbers, with new things. He wants to win the gold ball X times and the golden boot X times. And he wants to not just to play these Euros. He's already thinking that he wants to play the next World Cup.
Does he get angry when people say maybe Messi's better? Would that infuriate him?
I don't think so. I just think that critics motivates him. I think he feels if people criticize me, it's because I am who I am, and I did what I did, and I still try to do, and he gets that as an extra motivation. I think as an opponent, you should be quiet and don't say a wrong word about him, because that would be always a motivation for him. I think he's the player that everybody knows he is, and mentally really very, very strong.
Once again, as you say, it's Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's controversy once again. Why is it always the case with you?
I don't know why. Maybe someone's don't like me, but because maybe I'm too good.
It is what it is. The life it's completely difficult. We have obstacles in our lives, and I will keep running to fight against the people who don't believe me. And the life is a challenge, and I want the people that they are wrong. I'm there every morning. I do the same stuff. I'm probably the first ones to arrive and the last ones to go out. It's great. This is giving me motivation to still work hard and better in my job. But I have to say, to be in my shoes is not easy. But I'm not complaining. I just want to say that I'm feel happy. All this happened because of reason. The reason is I'm unbelievable inside the pitch. This is why the people have so much interest on me.
Are you the best footballer in the world right now?
I think so, yes. In my mind, I'm always the best. I don't care what the people thinking, what they say. In my mind, not just this year, but always, I'm always the best. I'm always going to say that, because I think we have to thinking we are the best in our area. So in my area, I think I'm the best.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at?
It's opinions. I respect the opinions. Maybe in your opinion, Messi is better than me, but in my mind, I'm better than him. So it's simple.
Is that rivalry a good thing?
For me, rival don't exist. The meaning of this word is not don't exist. Rivals is in a war. This is it. We have rivals. In football, no. It's just a game. I think the numbers they say everything. I don't need to say, I'm a minister of football, I'm a legend. The numbers say everything, so I'm very comfortable.
Cristiano Ronaldo, those two just keep pushing each other on, pushing the boundaries of greatness.
Exactly, and would they have been able, that's the question that I always ask myself, would they have been able to do this and keep this up, the relentlessness that they've shown without each other? If they was out on their own, no one else around, would they continue to have done this? That's the question.
No, I think they probably do add to the motivation.
Yeah, 100%. I think all the great sportsmen in the world have always had that someone else to feed off. And I think this is another great rivalry in football. They don't talk about it. Seems like there's a bit of a respect between them. They don't ever mention each other really, but they're just phenomenal to watch. And that people try and make comparisons of who's better, etc. Just enjoy them, man.
How much has Lionel Messi pushed you to become a better player?
I'm pushed to myself. I don't need other players to push myself. I just work since I was in sporting, so I push myself all the time to be the best. As I say many times, in my opinion, I'm the best because I think we have to think like that, not just in my job, but you have to think in your job you are the best reporter. And I'm thinking like that. If I'm not thinking like that, I'm not going to be stronger than I think I am.
But you also love individual awards. They matter to you.
It's part of my sacrifice, my obsession to win, to have success. You know, when I say success, it's I work for that. Talent is not enough. I dedicate myself so much that this is part of me. Records is part of me. I don't follow the records. The records follow me, which is different.
Are you addicted to winning?
Yes, I am. I'm addicted to the success. Because
that's the thing that really drives you.
Yes, I think so. And I think it's not something bad. I think it's good. It motivates me. If something not motivated, it's better, to stop. We shared this stage 15 years, me and him. I don't know